Which is for?
You're in space!
I am in
thought
space.
this was totally to slander the host of the channel.
The situation is abhorrent.
I didn't hear any of that, but it was probably for the best.
I was just saying that Jeff Bezos' existence at this point is fundamentally unethical.
I mean, I have definitely no opinion at the moment on that.
I would
I
say
may in the
that
future.
sentence is precisely 2 words too long, and it's the first two.
I'm just gonna laugh and leave it at that. That's my reply. Yep. So here we are.
You have a new jacket.
No. I would like a new jacket, but I don't have one. I don't need one. But I wouldn't mind one because I do like jackets.
Quick, someone send him a jacket.
Yeah.
It'll be cold up there.
Ideally, the more Jedi-like, the better. Jedi or Sith is my aesthetic, or I don't know, hobo wizard, I guess, is also my aesthetic. So
Hobo chic, legit,
yeah,
honestly.
it's had to be chic for me for a while. But yeah, we'll give this another couple of moments. I think we've got 2 minutes of advert to go, and then we'll be back in business apparently. How's everybody's views? Okay? Are they all okay day?
Is what?
The stream?
Yes.
So the stream
Yeah,
was okay day.
Looks good.
Good. Hopefully the audio won't be too bad either, because it looks like it's working on my side.
It sounds
Good.
fine,
Good.
but I don't want to leave it on for too long.
No, that's okay.
Good.
It's
Yeah, sounds fine.
yeah, I figured it was, because if I mute my headset and I don't see the audio bar move, it's usually good, because it means my webcam isn't actually stealing control of the audio, which it sometimes does, because it likes to do that.
It's like, why won't you use my audio?
Discord does that sometimes. It just decides, nah, actually, even though you've turned this device off or whatever, like, we're just going to use it.
Normally I'm okay, because Discord will like come up and say, do you want to switch devices? And I get to say no, but sometimes it just decides to do it anyway, because it's a bugger. Yeah. What were you saying, Callum, sorry?
I'll just say, like, I've stopped on default device. Doesn't. Oh, it just picks up what your default device is.
I imagine though you're offering it a lot of default devices by comparison, like
there are quite a few. Well, not right now. I've only got one for the first time in forever.
for the first time in forever. I'm sure that's a Disney song somewhere.
Default device works alright, man, if you're only ever using one device, but I'm assuming you've got loads of wee fancy sound devices that will fuck with it, probably.
He probably does.
Not today.
Not today!
No. Not today.
Okay, 10 seconds remaining, apparently.
Also, default devices would be a great band name. So that's going on my list.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I don't see the change. I mean, I can't quite pinpoint it.
No? Not this.
Too starry-eyed, man, I suppose.
Yeah. It's alright, isn't it?
I like it.
Yeah, me too. I think it's pretty good. I can also do this, which is one of my favourite things.
Can't wait.
So you get a wee green screen to the hand.
No, I didn't. But look at that.
You just found a way to jank it.
That's a picture of me behind me.
Reception.
It's a picture of me in a nightclub.
Can you turn your cat?
No, I will not do that. I can though show you this picture, which I think looks like an awesome background, and it's the screenshot I took of my character in Warcraft, looking back at Azeroth. I'll move out the way, and you can see. There we are. There's me, looking back at Azeroth.
Beauty. Also, I don't have a monitor, so I'm just using a 15.
Ah, excellent.
I used to have a 40-inch TV as my monitor, and it was like right in front of it, and it was stupid. So
Yeah, I might have to start moving back slightly.
Yeah, I just have to go mobile. But anyway, so yes, welcome to Starfinder, the Fragments of Eternity, session 86. It is the 15th of February 2021. We took a break for health reasons. Everybody else should do the same. And that's my public statement. I'm Ryan, the GM, still, and here are the players.
Hi, hello. I'm Nico. I'm playing Zora. Best captain. I am the Order,
Of all
and
things.
I am the voice of feminism.
Hello. I, Colin. And I will be playing Lyco Quinn. Sneaky, spooky, slightly blowier in a more pleasant palette than usual.
Yeah.
The aristocrats.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm Alex, and I'll be playing Weird, the android mechanic. And in addition to that, I'll be bringing you all of the inaccurate news regarding conspiracy theories.
Okay.
So about Avril Lavigne.
Yes, our thoughts
Aye.
and prayers go out to Avril's family.
And Body
I'm
Double.
Avril Lavigne, and I will.
Yep. Undercover Avril.
Let's do this.
He's just a skater boy, you know?
Hi, I'm Callum, and I'll be playing Zig, the Burning Sun, the space rat. Must... Damn it! Hold on. Hi, I'm Callum, and I'll be playing Zig, mystical space rat from the sun.
But now I've realised you need to do a space rap. That's like your next
You
song.
do run, run, run. You do run,
Avril
run.
Lavigne married Chad Kroger on Canada Day, which must be
Uh-huh.
the Canadian equivalent of the royal wedding, I
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah, I would think so.
Sounds about right.
I assume
Okay,
right
perfect way to keep on point. Speaking of which,
Speaking of-
Canadian royalty, aka, what does everybody remember from the last time we played?
Fuck. When was the last time we played?
That's not. Aye, don't attack me with facts.
No.
define.
Defeated
I was actually
and who won the
genuinely
game?
wondering this.
It was
We-
like
Left the
it was
Ox and
25th
tried
or
to
something,
speak.
was it not?
Yeah.
Was it one with Stephen, or did we play after that?
That was. Stephen was
No.
the last one, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
But
the
was it
we
around last
parted,
one?
we
25th.
parted with
25th of January.
Steven stole all my money.
I've forgotten his name though now. Django Unchained.
Ray's Kishi? Is that who
Ray's
he's
Kishi.
thinking of?
She.
Is
That's
there-
what I said.
We had Pay Raise as a session title, and then we had Paying the Ferryman, which was obviously a nod to his ship being called the Karen.
Well, that's because I'm very good at naming things, and yet still somehow forgot that that's what it was called. So there you go. So we did that, and I got glowy because we successfully navigated the archivist and were able to obtain sort of the electroencephalon of Syndiel, who is, I don't know, he's like using me as backup storage or something.
Yeah. It's close enough, right? Sindel was obviously
Yeah.
very specific about everything.
He was specific in as much as he said some things.
Also, good hello stream. I did not say that, but good hello to you all.
Oh, good one.
Yes. Uh-huh.
James.
What's his stream?
What
Big
is the
streams.
stream? Yeah.
Stream
Welcome.
what?
Okay, right, yeah, so Sindel had things and stuff that happened about the electroencephalon. Anything else happen? Right, well, so we mentioned Ray's Kishi, yeah, we had a good old smuggler Boyle join us for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, Rikishi. We
Yes.
finished off the giant floating cow balloon elephant
Yeah, the Cthulhu's.
things. Yeah.
Mhm.
Cow balloon elephant things.
Mhm. Yep. We tried to salvage some of them as well, but that didn't go so well.
They're... Yeah.
I had the image of the blowfish from The Simpsons, you know. That was,
yeah.
That's what came to mind, and that shows my age.
So you're going to that. What a good show.
Yeah.
The television program for you young people, The Simpsons, ran for the last 45 years. Every day, a new episode. More people have worked on The Simpsons than have actually, technically speaking, ever lived.
Is this
Yeah,
just
no,
a
I give up.
Simpsons fact podcast now?
Did you-
Like,
Someone's accidentally signed up for the Simpsons facts text.
do you know? I wouldn't.
Um,
I think. Do you think we could get a 2-hour podcast of us just repeating in like made-up facts about the Simpsons?
Yes.
absolutely. But accidentally, at least 30%
Yeah.
will be true because there's just so much fucking Simpsons.
But that could be the competition we run, though, right? For the podcast listeners, right? Please tell us the ones we got right.
Did you know that somewhere in The Simpsons there is a cure for cancer?
Right. But yeah, so we've got the other ideas for podcasts we'll push to the side for now, and we'll go back to what happened last time. shall we?
Simpsons predicted that.
No, Colin, we're going to go back to what
people
happened
would
last
die.
time. So, anything else important happened last time?
Was there?
I don't know. That was the question. So,
Cybernetics business, was that mentioned? I don't know.
yeah, it was. Mhm.
Right, cool. Then, no, I can't remember.
Wow.
I'm relying on my memory.
Nothing else happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
I genuinely couldn't remember if like the last session was the one we raised as well
Yeah.
like, today. Because I was thinking,
He's
I was
got
like,
off the planet. He's got to the spaceships. He's said your goodbyes. Alice jumped you into drift. These are heading to Akaton.
Yep.
That's
So-
it. That is it. Like, yeah, that's what's happening.
is it right?
Yes. Also,
Well done.
thank you, Alexander. It's
We'll go back around to
yeah, right. What are you talking about? Also, Alexander, if you
You've got the
keep
planet.
watching, Alexander, I'll do a wee change for you as well, and you can see how fancy it looks now. Look at that, some Aurora Borealis localized in my bedroom. Oh,
Is
and
that
no.
more of an Albany expression?
It's an Ogdenville expression.
Oh.
At this time of year. No, you may not see it. Oh dear. So good. By the way, back to space. So, as we were saying, things about the thing and stuff. This is to be for the right time of the year. You are correct. But yes, Ray's decided to go in on a certain percentage of the business. Is what happened last time as well. He put some money into the business, which was good. So, anything else of note, or is that everything we've got?
I forget stuff quite often.
It's considering it's been twice as long since we normally played. Like, yeah, I was kind of half expecting nobody to remember anything. But yeah,
Nothing's coming to mind. So.
I think that was
Probably is something actually. I just can't remember really.
Well,
Other than
like he's jumped into drift space. I did a camera pan away through the voids of drift space over to CC at the very end, but that was it. Like that was just.
Colin got a slight
yeah, we had
metamorphosis,
the
all that
cameo.
stuff. We already spoke about that.
Mm.
I think me and Zig need to get a metamorphosis. I mean, feeling left out here. Like,
Yeah. I mean, which Zig are you referring to though? Sorry.
it's true, man. It's true, actually. I mean, maybe I'm feeling fucking that place, actually. It's just me.
Yeah, God forbid you're the celebrity of.
Quantum Zig theory states
Yeah.
that if you kill one Zig, you'll simply revert to a different timeline where Zig still exists.
I believe it.
To be fair, yeah, it's. Not saying it's not happened multiple times already, but we'll see how that goes. Also, Zora, how dare you? You're a celebrity in 2 solar systems, and you're like 4th from the top of an empire. What more do you want? Huh? That's when Nico's muted.
I
now.
will breathe. I will. I don't know.
Yeah, like I even left you ambition room because you're 4th from the top. You're not at the top and thus bored.
It's true.
Yeah, like
It's true.
you've done pretty well in this game, to be fair. Oh,
You could
dear.
be plotting to seize power. That'd be fun.
It's been the long campaign me and Nico have secretly worked on since the beginning, which was just how do we propel this, rejected Vesk into the seat of power in the Viscarium. Mm-hmm.
Rejected Jess becomes new patriarch.
Mm-hmm.
I just need a voice change on them.
Yeah.
Fine.
Oh no,
Yeah.
what you need is the voice of feminism.
I mean, I'm the voice of feminism.
This is when we get the big cancel stamp over the stream eventually. Yep, that's it. Zora's been cancelled in space. Besides that, though, I think that's good enough as a catch up. Fuck, that'll do. Goals. Let's move on. Goals. So, talk me through your goals.
Look at this. Look at this. Yes, we know the Southern
yes,
Lights.
the
Show
goals.
off.
The goals. Discover what happened to Cece.
Yes, indeed. Discover what happened to Cece. Yep, with thine own eyes.
Thine own eyes.
If anything, I gave you a wee tidbit of he's still alive somewhere. In drift, plugging stuff in and tapping his foot for some reason. And I mean, we didn't get a goal for you apparently.
We didn't, because I'll be honest with you, I forgot that I had one to fill.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll deal with it next time or at the end. Think about it today. And
It's been a long time.
it's been 2 weeks.
Mentally, I am dead.
And that 2 weeks felt like a year. I'm not gonna lie for me.
Yeah.
It was.
My brain does not work, and I am sorry for this.
Hey, we're in the right crowd for
Things
it. Like,
happen.
yeah.
These things happen.
Like, I think if MD has made it this far watching these videos with us, they are also now the same. So,
Mondays, am I right?
yeah, thanks, Garfield.
Hey, it's me that does the American accent. What are you gimmicking for?
Oh no.
Gimmick
I gotta pay the
appropriation.
Fine.
Yeah, the gimmick fine.
Oh
Well.
no. What have I done?
It's the gimmick board just like a dartboard with random gimmicks on it, and we just hope for the best or the worst, I guess.
They're like they're the secretive council that controls the world.
Okay, so back to goals. Weird.
They're all
I'm gonna talk to the Queen about the investment that I got, and then we're good to go.
Yeah. And then Zig.
Wire void egg. I'm gonna talk to the queen and tell her about my business and we'll good to go.
A lot of business with the Queen.
This could go well.
Or the queen's gonna talk to me.
Wow.
I hope
you
so,
said that.
because it would be very awkward if I started talking to her. Majesty! Majesty! Please give me the eggs.
But yeah, you got to be specific about which eggs.
So, general goals. Sorry, you're the captain. Admiral. Go.
Let's see. Speak to the Kivalaker versus. Speak with Dinagish on Situation Nocturne. Level Electroencephalon and Amacepha. Gain useful MO info. And ensure we removes best safeguard protocols.
Yes. And for anyone that doesn't speak Nico, those were speak with Kivalari crew on versus.
Wow.
Speak with Demogash on the situation on Nocturne. Deliver the electroencephalon to Ramasetha, which was the most clearest one you said, and I love that. Because it's probably the most fucky of all of them. I think that's, see when things are that weird, and obviously E&M Banks trained you for statements like that.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
I can see why people pointed me to him given what I write. But yeah, and then gain useful MO info and ensure weird removes the VESC safeguard protocols. Yeah, that seems like that's the goals. Yeah. Yeah.
But is it hashtag goals?
Yeah, it is. We'll just decide that now.
Hashtag
Oh.
squad goals.
Yeah, squad goals. There we are.
Hashtag squid goals.
Yeah, that too. Why not? Yeah, sure. Just for everyone's nausea. Here we are. Giant picture of weird in space.
Okay.
We're gonna get rid of the weird, sadly, and then we're gonna just put up the space because we're in drift space. Remember, folks?
Okay. Yes,
There we go.
we're in the input Doctor Who.
Woo! But for legal reasons, different.
Yeah, illegally.
We're illegally in the intro of Doctor Who. There we go. They never expected that, did they? Right. So we're on the ship. Final hour. They're heading towards Akaton. And somebody glows cyan instead of black. And that's new.
Yeah, and red. You know, the red eyes normally as well. Although I like to think his red eyes only really flare up because I'm gonna have a bit of a mechanical digression here. Mechanically, my fucking glowing red eyes don't give me any disadvantage to pretending I'm a normal human. I actually am advantaged to pretend that I am a normal human for being a Barai undead human. I get +2 to it.
Contacts.
There is no mechanical thing saying that people look at your glowing red eyes and go, "Is that normal for a person?"
No, because
So
it's
I
this.
like to
You're a
say
90s
clearly
cartoon
not.
character, right? This is like when Jean Grey in the X-Men cartoon in the 90s had blue light come from her brain and pick stuff up, and that was just so the audience knew it was her doing it. So there you go. That's why you don't have that. That's just to the audience at home. They see the glowing red eyes and the black aura, but to everybody in the universe, no.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's really just a lot of visual indicator. It's yeah.
It's just bullshit. That's what it is.
But like I like to think that his eyes don't normally glow all the time. Is a reason for it. Like I think like when he gets particularly worked up or aggravated or in a fight or something, like they might start to glow. But I don't think day to day they are noticeably glowing. But maybe they are right now.
I think I said those changed colour as well, but right? I think everything was blue.
Yeah, you did
I
say
think they were like
blue as
whitey
Yeah.
blue, and then
Oh yeah, no, sorry, I think they were whitey.
yeah, like whitey blue, and then everything else was like kind of cyany blue. Yeah. But yes, I think that's your colour scheme from now, if I remember correctly. But yes, so you have that going on. I think for the most part, Zig's just poor, a lot poorer than he was.
Yeah, I don't approve.
Zora's relatively intact, I think, and so's Weird. So I think he's got off pretty. Like, in fact, if anything, Weird's actually quite ahead in his agendas. So yeah, I think
An
he's
upper torso.
yeah.
More than just a head.
Well done. Well done. So, did you get anything to do while in Drift? Because I don't know if we actually rolled for days in Drift, did we? Let's have a look.
I don't think so, but I probably would ask somebody to be like, so, fucking CC, in fact, we'll just happy this, right? Because...
Well, let's do the Drift roll. Does Captain, you can do it. D6.
D6.
I think the final hour has a 2 rating on its drive, so...
Yeah.
/R1D6.
Yay! Yay! It's gonna be half a day. This is the fastest you've ever travelled anywhere. These are gunning it to get back. This is what happens when you leave Alice.
Fired
in
out a
charge.
drift cannon.
Yeah. Maybe it's because CC's fucked over the drift space now. Maybe that's what's happening. Everything just goes faster now. Oh,
Maybe he accidentally accelerated drift itself rather than him.
yeah, drift moved
That
through him.
Seems
Yeah.
reasonable.
Anyway, we're on the ship. He's actually we're gonna make it there in crazy amounts of time. So yeah, let's see how we do. Who's where? Who has a scene for me?
Right, so I will probably... Who's probably best to scan... So try and find something in Drift,
I
I think
mean,
you know.
if that's even possible.
okay.
Because
So
Donna doesn't know that. Like,
okay, you think about your crew that you've got access to, right? Who have you got access to in the crew?
well, probably it would either be Alice or Weird, right?
Okay, and
Realistically,
who's
it's gonna be
operated by a
Alice.
player?
Weird.
There you
so,
go.
I mean, you're a GM player.
Oh, I know, but I definitely prefer
Alright,
player
I'll
content.
ask. I'll go to Weird. Whatever Weird may be.
Like Eddie's just standing next to you.
Okay. So CC was like mucking about with a drift mech.
This is the first you're probably hearing of this, to be fair, Weird.
That sounds like something he would do.
Well, he just kind of vanished. In fact, no, this is utterly meta what I'm doing right now. How would I know he's trapped in fucking drift?
You tell me.
I wouldn't.
Wait,
So,
hold on.
I will
You did know
retract.
that he was doing the drift stuff, right?
I did know he was doing the drift stuff, right?
And you know he
But
had just fucking disappeared.
So I think the problem is that in Nico's brain, his terminus for that conversation was the let's go rescue him from drift, not just the let's explain that he seems to have got lost and we don't know where he is. So-
exactly.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
that's
like-
like
exactly
there's a
what,
way to
like,
get from like a.
Oh no,
How about we talk
I
about-
accept
yeah.
I accept this entirely, calling him on your side, but I think this is me just explaining why I think he thought it was meta.
yeah. It's just that. So, what's the chances he's like lost in drift? I mean, it's happened to us like twice.
Yes, but we've had the benefit of being in drift vessels.
Exactly. That's why we should try and save him as quick as possible. If he is trapped in drift.
Do you think he strapped himself to a drift engine and it just threw him into drift?
Shrugs. I'm not a drift engineer.
Where are you
True.
having this conversation, by the way?
You're probably nearby. Like I feel like
Yeah, because
keep in mind
if it's like on the bridge, I'll be there impatiently
Well,
waiting. At the
what
bridge.
happened was you all like said goodbye to Raze, and Alice had already went to the bridge to get you into drift space. So I feel like this is now, right? So you're probably just about to break up in the corridor to go your own ways, and then this conversation maybe breaks out. So you can just be there if you want as well, Lyko.
Do we know? We know what he used to make his mech.
Parts of the what's it called again? Elf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Parts of the elf and just other random parts about the.
That was
It was already done, Zig. It was already done.
so. That's a kid's ship. See, you're.
Oh.
I mean, you managed to find this, so I'm assuming that your ship.
When he says it's the
Small
kid's
squad.
ship, I'll be like, actually,
Slides up his vest glasses.
it's my ship,
I
Zig.
yes. I'll
I
bite that,
feel like I've missed an episode.
Captain. Yes. Yeah. Sorry. I guess
It-
we're even.
Yeah, I'll chuckle because that's what I can do right now.
So your ship was Rift capable, right?
Well, it was. Yeah. In some regard.
I think he could. I mean, the guy's got a. Yeah, I believe he could do that. Make a Rift drive for a ship work for a mech. Sure, we've seen him do some pretty crazy stuff. I think the captain's right. He might be out there.
Might survive. I mean, I feel like if Rift mechs possible.
Everything wasn't a thing until it was. I mean,
Sure, it's got to be pressurised. He's not dumb, right? Like, he at least must have built it to withstand space. So
The difference between intelligence and wisdom is stark. Looks at character sheet.
Brings it up on holo display, as you can see here from this diagram.
I have enumerated all of your abilities.
Yeah. Based on your performances in the last 2 years, I have assessed you statistically, and here is your character sheets. Yes.
I mean, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna suggest anything too wild while we're in Rift because I don't entirely trust our ability to extricate ourselves from any sort of situation here. But is it possible to find an individual in Rift?
Shrugs.
If there's precedent.
Empty that feels the need to perhaps think their character would know a lot about drift mechanics, then you could roll piloting or, I don't know, engineering maybe?
I think
What?
I'll roll engineering.
Yeah. Don't I give me a reroll then? And we'll see if you get some extra info. Yeah. So, drift is obviously it's a
Engineering is 28 now.
nice. As you know, drift is another like layer, like a plane of existence essentially. So you shift into it, and obviously like 1 meter in there or 1 foot in there, depending on your system of measurement, is quantifiably larger as a footprint on real space, if we'll call it that. But you could, like, if you were brave, you could explore drift space. Like, there's whole corporations designed to try and explore drift space, but it's
don't have to take your pre-scheduled route.
Yeah.
But
So are we technically like travelling it on, well, technically impulse, if you know what I mean? It's just the plane existence is
so user
trauma, you know what I mean?
the drift engine's what moves you through the drift space. Without that, you wouldn't be able to navigate through drift, or like move through drift really. But that's only because it's hard to kind of have like a point of reference in drift space, like in real space. Because in real space, your thrusters you can you can get a point of reference from like a planet, right? And you can go, okay, that planet's so far away from us at the moment, ignoring its vectors and velocities and delta v's and all that. You can then just get a fix on where you are, and if you fire your thrusters for 5 minutes in that direction, you shift this much, blah blah blah. In drift, you don't have a point of reference to do that, so maybe they work, but nobody knows, right? But people think like really old sea time like myths, right? Sailors talking about mermaids and stuff and various other sea monsters and whatnot. Like people talk about that, like drift is that new frontier, right? Because everything we designed works in real space, so all the instruments that we designed to like quantify real space don't work by the same rules in drift space. I'll refer you all to the engine modifications Escate made that seemed to work after the engine was a bit trashed. So yeah, drift engineering is a new thing, really. And the companies are one of those things where like people that first volunteer to go into space, like there's a level of "Are you coming back?" to it. So yeah, it probably will be like, see when like the science of it gets a bit more perfected and ships get a lot more efficient to be completely self-sufficient. There probably will be a lot like a whole new boom in drift exploration.
Gold rush almost.
Yeah. An Abaddon's Gate situation, if you will. But it's no, we're not yet there yet. But arguably, things live in the drift, right? There's possibly full civilizations in there, like that have either adapted to living in there or were born there. So, like, and obviously nobody's taken their helmet off in drift space, so that's also a thing.
On you go, Zig.
I don't think Zig's that affected by most things these days, right?
Well, not really.
Yeah.
You say you're affected by most things these days, they'll put you in jail. That's what Stuart Lee says in this universe. He somehow is still in
Yeah.
4. Like obviously there's a possibility of exploration here. We don't have to necessarily like follow our pre-programmed route, but we don't necessarily have any method to actually apply our tools to find someone either.
Even if we just do like a ship scan maybe we pick something up, some life signs. Shrugs. Like it's like
I think the only thing I'll remind you guys is whatever you do, you need to decide in 12 hours. Otherwise, you will drop out at your designated point. Beyond that, though, like
Scans. Yeah. Yeah. Like, so I mean, that's just saying it in character because I think we've pretty much started that conversation in character. So like, I'm happy to stay up front and do anything here if there's anything that needs to be done backstage. I almost said
that's fine.
backstage. Backstage is fine actually. Like
Yeah.
I might say some shit like that backstage, but I can't promise you I'm gonna be as effective. Innovative use of the machinery.
Just
But
right.
if it works, it works.
I'll just assume you're all doing a walk and talk to the bridge.
Adam Sor.
Not really
Aaron
expecting
Fuck.
miracles, just well, get a shot just in case, right?
Anything
Just
from
an open statement.
Yeah, anything from Zig or Weird on the subject?
I think. I don't know. I think Zig's just kind of. We're just doing it. Happens in.
Captain
Captain Admiral.
Cadmiral.
Mostly because me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how.
I'm just a dum dum that's spouting out ideas because he doesn't even know what theory is. Like,
I'm good with this idea. I will strap a drive to my armor. Jump right on it.
I mean, to be fair, there's a certain level of I could get behind that plan if I was a character in this game. Like, I could definitely like. But if CC strapped a drive to himself and jumped, if we strap a drive to ourselves and jump, we'll find him.
we'll be in the same place.
There's 0 other variables.
I mean, I'm not going to lie.
Sort of
Like,
heat-seeking drive. There can't be many heat signatures out there, right? Or maybe there can be as many as I don't know.
Well, every spaceship will be giving off a heat signature. Yes.
Sure, but I mean,
and it's a non-linear relationship between real space and drift space. So the potential pool is any spaceship that enters drift from any point in the universe.
which is probably going to be a larger number than one.
Somewhere
We
between
also
0
don't know
and infinity is
what
the rough
time
pool of Canada.
the drift.
Sorry, Zach?
I was saying we don't know what time the drift. It could be everyone who is in drift at once.
And the stories of drift natives that would also give off heat signatures. Whether you want to go and engage them is.
I think Lycos just sort of closed his eyes for a second. I just don't want to hear the time stuff. Not today. Look, if we think he's stuck here, we have to do something, but what can we do right now?
First, we can search for him.
With that, like he's under the bridge at that point, right? We'll just have all made your way through the corridors. Alice is standing to attention, staring out at the spirally beyond. She doesn't acknowledge anyone.
Pretty, isn't it?
Thank you.
That button out. For the
I
record,
do like a reaction.
I don't call you an it.
She kind of turns and finger guns you, and then blows out this imaginary smoke, then holsters it, and then she says, "Oh no, I meant that," and she points just at the window, out at the drift. I meant because I jumped us to the drift and I plotted the route.
Ah. Okay. Yeah.
She just
I
stares
see.
blankly and blinks, and then turns to you, Zora, and goes, "Am I relieved of command?" She kind of gives a weird look at you, like you've walked in on something.
Relieved of command.
Do you want to? Are you taking the con back?
I'll take the con back. Yeah, you can take a break.
A break from what?
Sitting down looking at drift.
So you think I can't sit down?
God damn it, Alice! Do what you want, Alice. You do you. Put
Okie
on your
dokie.
guns.
Yeah, and I think your foe gets hit with them, like clutches her, stomach, and then, does that thing where she lands on her seat at the console, and then just spins round and pulls a yogurt out of her drawer.
Where did she get all of those?
Don't know.
Reliable yogurt makers these days.
Like when she went downside to get. Never mind. CC.
Yeah. How does the mystical stuff work here? Is that an option to find them? Would that be more or less problematic than the machine?
Oh.
Right. But mysticism things never really worked for me though.
You've got your thingy points at your flying.
Yeah,
black hole.
yeah.
You've got star magic, and he's got his other star, but from closer up, like a star that you're nearer to. But
this thing doesn't really work.
Proxima Asteris? Is that where we're going?
This thing just tends to give me what I need. It doesn't really give me what I ask for. If you get what I mean.
If this was an anime, it would draw you a dirty look, by the way.
It's a long story. Apparently some stellar energies decide when they want to give me some power.
see.
That's what they told us in what's my Solarian school? I was supposed to say Stellarian.
Sure.
Solarian school.
Okay.
So you're only periodically gifted power when sides.
Nods.
And then Zig starts thinking of maybe that's what all magic is in some.
Everyone's a warlock.
Or
Or forgetful, like they just leave their magic power bag lying open and they go off and make like a microwavable snack.
in fairness, like that would be the most Zig. Like, it's like, oh, why is this Zig guy so? Oh, I left the bag open again. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys. There'll be a magical drought for a couple of years. Pretty well. Bye. Yeah. Fair. It's okay. In a couple of years' time, when I bravely run this game again, we'll just have the Zig deity do that. That'll be a plotline.
I mean, sometimes I get like a little bit of a tinkle. Like I get a feeling if something's a good idea or a bad idea, but that's not going to help you.
I think Finn blinks in and says, "Admiral, the ship is kitted out fully with medical equipment if required."
Hopefully that's not the case.
It like does like a full look of like a programmed look of concern. I refer to your statement, and then it plays back the audio of you saying you get a tinkle.
uh,
If
good
you
kind
are
of tinkle.
if you are unwell, I would recommend medical attention.
No, I'm quite alright. It's just a packed world phrase.
Indeed, sir.
Nods.
And he blinks out.
Ha! That.
Yeah.
I mean, we may as well try and like pick something up on the ship scanners, right? Like, see if get a blip.
They may require proper calibration for that task.
Could you do that? Is that possible?
Right on it, Captain.
He would nod, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Zig, would the mysticism thing be possible on your part? You've got star powers. Kinda like me, just not just
I mean,
the gods like you know. Like
That's what I don't understand. Like, is magic different based on distance? I don't.
are you asking if our powers have a reach?
Well, no. I just mean like he's an acolyte of the sun, which is a star, right? And your kind of folks have star-based solar kind of powers.
Yeah, there's a lot of star worshipping in the Solarian.
Yeah, but they're like further away stars. So is it? Do you have different powers because your stars are further away?
I think Alice is really interested in this, so she walks closer, eating the yogurt, like just leaving the spoon in her mouth, staring at both of them, just because she's like, yeah, what is this? Right, like just leans into the conversation.
Zig
Like, scratch his head because he's never
Second,
really thought of it
Nico,
before.
what was that, Callum?
Is there a book that I have read at some point in time that would give me at least some form of answer, bullshit or not, for Lyco?
I don't know, you throw mysticism?
Kabloof!
Okay, do I just speak to Lyco? We'll see what you say.
Okie dokie. He says, well, based on my experience and what obviously I can't speak for Captain Admiral, but you see, although the specific star in my case, our sun, is part of our leaf system, I don't think it's necessarily the specific star that is giving us the power. So just because his star's somewhere else doesn't give him different powers. But I like where you're thinking. I like your train of thought. I like where
Alice takes the spoon out of her mouth and then kind of goes to say something, thinks better of it, thinks better of thinking better of it, and then says it anyway. And then she says, I read that your son's full of demons. Are your powers demon powers?
Is that directed to me?
No, straight to
Zig. Right.
No, that's not. No. Right. See, the actual star doesn't different, even if it was full of demons, which it's not, because it's not. That's
Sort of
it wouldn't be
skills.
there. It's full of demons. No,
How do you know?
because I spoke to it.
Sort of skills more.
Okay.
I don't get his
But-
back to back. I don't
And then,
get-
like, Alice looks at, like, you know, between Lyko and Zora, and then back to Zig and goes, if I was a demon, I was hiding in a star, and you were like, hey, Mr. Star, are you a demon? I'd say no.
Yeah, but I didn't ask. Say,
You just said you spoke
hey,
to it.
Mr. Star. Yeah, no, I spoke to the sun.
What
like
did- what did it say?
Inside. Well, it's hard to explain. It didn't say anything. It felt
You feel demony?
don't feel particular.
What does demony feel like? How would you know? Are you a demon? Powered by demons?
I am not powered by demons.
Sure you want to talk to like one of my power dudes? Because that seems to be the reaction I get all the time. Nothing.
I think like Alice looks between the two of you and kind of like laughs like very gently, like, ha ha ha. But also, like, and then she like goes back to her point, like as if yeah, but she wants to make this point seriously.
You like
But
demons.
if you're saying though that your powers are based on you instead of a specific star, and it doesn't matter what star, it could be any star. And if I've read that demons use stars as doors into this space, then wouldn't that mean it's more likely you're powered by demons because they use stars as doors? And you're like the postman getting the mail from the letterbox, right? She just looks at you really confused.
I feel like just because like anyone can use the post, you know. Postman doesn't discriminate. However, we are, and I am sure are more curated. We're more of like a telegram.
I love how we're using like hundreds of years old terminology probably for this universe, right? Physical
Say,
post.
It's like
Yeah.
email.
Mhm.
We're like encrypted end to end
By demons.
WhatsApp messages.
So she just looks at you
I
like
guess it's owned by
skeptical.
demons.
She looks at you skeptically, and she looks at you, Lyko, and she gives you like a kind of narrowed-eyed stare, like you get me. And then Just-
I just look very confused.
she just nods slowly, like she's taken that as an affirmative. And then she then just looks at you, Zora, and she goes, "I don't think we should ask the demons."
I agree. But I don't think he's speaking to demons. I think we're alright.
No, he just said
Oh.
he does and doesn't speak to the star.
I mean, demons to one person, God to another. Like,
She narrows her eyes at you.
What even is a demon, really?
She looks down at Zig, then back up at you, Lyko, and then just puts
I just-
another spoonful of yogurt in her mouth.
I don't know if anyone's ever given me like an operational definition to work with.
She just nods, mostly to herself, while eating yogurt.
Not a demon.
No, you're an Ahsoki.
Thank you.
I know it.
She goes,
Big realizes he said thank you for just
"Mhm,
no reason.
it's fine. It was good." Weird, what are you up to while they're discussing demons and the sun and Ahsoki?
Are we discussing this in the?
We're on the bridge at the moment,
Rich.
yeah.
So he's sitting there thinking about mathematical explanations for mysticism,
Hmm.
but not offering them up
Mhm.
yet.
You could roll mysticism if you wanted, by the way, just to see how they're coming along.
Sure.
And see how you're doing. Yeah. I think you got it right, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I think it's one of those things where you look at it and you go, but if they bit that piece of the chocolate bar and you move that down, how's it the same area? How's that possible? The maths doesn't add up. Yeah. Too many dimensions to think about, sadly.
There's
Yeah.
a chocolate bar involved.
It's an old reference, but it checked out with me, so that's good enough.
I should have taken 10.
Mm.
Well, because I can always take 10 to recall knowledge.
So what would that have been? 26?
26, yeah.
26? I still feel like with a 26, like that's still like a base understanding of trying to parse, like some things are probably like patterns with mysticism, right? Like there's a lot of repetition with rituals and stuff. But there's definitely, if we would go as far to call it an X factor of some kind, involved that is harder to quantify with mysticism. Hence why it isn't just science we don't understand yet. It's in fact magic. So yeah. Besides that though, yeah, I think maybe you're pondering that while also trying to like work out how you're recalibrating the, the
So
sensors.
many complicated things to work on. Yes. So then I'll try and recalibrate the sensors to pick up small objects with a drive signature.
Yeah. Plus, you've worked on the drive in question before, technically. So if somebody was willing to tell you it was the 11th hour drift drive that CC was using, that'd be great.
I mean, if it helps, like all of that, well, most of that met was about with a final level, probably
11th.
drift drive included, 11th hour, drift drive included, and then he would swing his eyes towards Zig again.
Narrows the down.
Any reaction shot from Zig?
Zig's like just looks.
Demony? Would you say demony?
Perhaps
Demonically.
somewhat demonically. Yes.
And Alice goes, "Oh yeah, remember that ship?" Just looks off wistfully.
Zora sniffles.
Yeah.
Almost a whimper.
Captain. Admiral.
Captain's fine.
And Alice just goes back and sits at her console again. Just sits her empty yogurt to the side, and then just kind of like sits with like her back to the console, looking at the kind of group, and just in that almost, well, we're all here kind of way. What now? Well, she just sits and kind of leans forward and rocks.
See, I'm gonna go eat.
Okay. Alice goes, "Oh, me too," and then just stands up and follows you out.
Okay, don't.
Yeah.
I will go and eat.
Right, what's happening on the bridge? We've got three of you peoples on the bridge. What's the plan?
I will be doing an engineering.
Yeah,
Try and get things
like-
sorted.
you might even need to do a spacewalk to recalibrate some of the external sensors, but that could be quite exciting.
I've explained to Zig how to do that.
Probably, yeah.
I should go and send him out to the drift.
You could probably send Zig and Zora out, because then they could cover more ground, because keep in mind, the final hour is pretty big.
Yeah.
It's a big ship, because it's multiple floors and stuff, the final hour. It's just, we don't have a floor plan for it, because it's too complicated to draw. But you can definitely, in fact, where's the picture of it again? Because I think when you see the size of like one of the windows on it, it kind of makes it a bit more. It's the one. Yes. Like, there's clearly multiple floors to that.
Yeah.
And as you can see, there's a nice kind of almost tower at the top. And at the very, very bottom, that fin that I imagine there's probably a lot of sensors built into. So, I think it'd be quite fun to send somebody top and bottom, right?
Oh, well, I mean,
I'm
Yeah,
down.
because now we get that, fan base question answered, right? But so, who do you delegate where, Chief Engineer?
I send Zig to the top, Captain to the bottom.
Well, let's suit up, boys. These are going outside.
Alright.
He's going into drift space outside. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Mhm.
Big might put on some form of spacesuit.
Mhm.
Zora is perpetually in his spacesuit.
Yeah. To be fair, like you are if you're wearing your armor, right? So yeah, your armors are saleables. But yeah, and then we'll have some nice coordination. Now, please tell me there's a skill in this system that allows, the equivalent of like leadership,
Culture?
the conveyance of information. That one.
Oh, intimidate.
Yeah. If you don't fix this, we'll blow up. We'll be stranded in drift. It'll be your fault. Dallas will say it's the demons.
I would assume that I'd just do the base skill, because if you don't really know something unless you can explain it to an idiot.
Just actually trying to scroll down to find a character sheet I can open that has a skill list in it. Nice. I think I found one. It's got a skill list in it. It does, yay! There really isn't like a leadership skill, which is interesting. See when you've got like a social class like an envoy, it's always interesting when they don't give you like an
actual skill to back it up as well.
It's the fact that we get computers, life science, and engineering, medicine, physical science, but we get bluff and diplomacy, is it? Really? And intimidate, sorry. We get intimidate as well. Why?
You mean that we got the same three that they have in D&D? Shocking.
It's just poor. I'm sorry, it's poor.
Sorry. I will continue to expand to D20 systems if we sit on this topic.
Yeah, same. Just skill systems, really, not even just D20 systems, just skill systems. But anyway. So
shout out to Podcast System Mastery. They've decided, after much discussion, that they will be reviewing modern games, only ones they like, and they have something interesting in them, so they don't shit on things people make money out of.
Yeah,
and
fair.
What their example of a system they'll never cover is Starfinder. They actually called that one out specifically as an example of there's nothing here for us.
Other than perhaps negatively charged
I'm going to take a controversial stance and say it's fine to shit on things. Criticism is important.
I don't know if that is controversial for you now.
Bad. No, I don't think it's controversial for anyone ever.
I think it depends what your brand of criticism probably is.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, if you're being like nasty about it, like obviously, like it's a different story. But
in an area where it's so difficult to get productive, like full-time work, like role playing, probably is.
Yeah, because like to draw a line under this tangent that we're on, like the thing I would say is we have played this game and we've enjoyed this game this long, but it's very little in part due to the system itself. Like the character gen content and lore, yes, 100%. Everything else, no. But like I feel like we say this every session now because it's true. It's like just
classes are nice and stuff, and like the writing is like well done. It's just they need to just do better. Like the system needs to be done a bit.
We'd perhaps like that Paizo games target a different audience to us. But
that is fine because there is an audience for that. I understand that. It's just clearly not us, and I think every system for skills specifically, maybe not everything, but skills certainly should follow the 13th age set. And
anyone saying they've got a generic system is lying. And that conversation I had to a friend where they said, "Oh, I'd really love to play D&D, but in Star Wars." I was like, "There's many Star Wars. Go do a specific one."
Like even the D6 Star Wars system. So I made a character. Let's just continue the tangent. Why not? So I made a character in the D6 Star Wars system 2 days ago. I don't know. It was blurry. A couple of days ago. And you know it was really easy. Like the character name was super simple. Basically, you pick a template that has most of your stuff filled out, you get 7 dice worth of stuff to share amongst leveling up things. And you can only spend 2 dice in one particular skill to upgrade it. So yeah, you basically have to spread them out. And I picked what was the template called? It was something like some other alien that uses the Force. Only barely paraphrasing what it was actually called as the template.
Chumbawumbians.
No, I mean literally what I said was almost the exact template name.
Okay.
Like some other alien that uses the Force. Give me 2 seconds. I'll just read it from the book because the book's behind me. So this was the 30th anniversary edition of Star Wars, the role-playing system. It is. Yeah, it's.
Back to a retro era that I might actually be interested in playing. Well,
I'll be honest, I would like to play in this system. I don't know if I'd care to run it because I quite like the aspect of running, obviously, the FFG one again, but I would play in this because I've made a character, obviously, now. So what was it called? Alien Student of the Force. That was what the template is called.
Okay, that's not so bad.
It's alright, and
Star Wars standards.
that almost gives me like Out by the Apocalypse style vibes for character templates.
so it's also got here Alien Student of the Force, equipment 1 statuette, amulet, or other trinket of obscure mystical import, 250 credits standard, and then the background, it's got a bunch of stuff. Under appearance notes, right? You may choose whatever appearance you wish. Your species is rarely encountered in the galaxy, so your appearance is not commonly known or identified. However, strange-looking aliens are common enough that your appearance is rarely remarked upon. I love that as like a starting point to a character template. Because it doesn't even say, here's the option of races to play. It just says, you're not a common one. So it basically says you're not human, is what that said. Personality. You think yourself as a mystic, one of a tradition different from that followed by the Jedi, but of a similar nature. Like Yoda, Kenobi, or a fully trained Luke Skywalker, you are calm, a little humble, and treat every living being with respect. Your quote is listed as, I am a servant of the light and of the life which infuses it. Connections with other people, it just says you might agree to accept a brash pilot or another character as a student. You might be eager to learn from a failed or minor Jedi, those are other templates. You might have befriended a laconic scout, a smuggler or gambler in your travels, because those are the other templates as well. I love how vague that is, but
yeah,
like, and then you've got who's it, arrogant noble, armchair historian, bounty hunter, brash pilot, Ewok is its whole template. Like failed.
I saw the Ewok companion in SWTOR the other day, and he's glorious.
Aha.
And I think I like Ewoks now.
Failed Jedi, gambler, kid. Kid is a template.
Kid.
Laconic scout, loyal retainer.
Wait,
the
right.
medic.
The scout template is specifically called Laconic
Scout. Uh-huh.
Is there a polysyllabic scientist?
There is not.
Mean,
there is minor Jedi. Mon Calamari is its own background.
Has TV Tropes made its own role-playing game yet? This is the vibes I'm getting.
Yeah, right. Laconic Scout is 100%.
Old Senatorial, the Outlaw, Pirate. So Quixotic Jedi is one of my favourite titles. That's good. They also, I think, get to start with a lightsaber. Is that right? No, they get a dueling sword. And they just make.
Well, they get a big wooden fan, but they think it's a lightsaber.
Aha, yeah, that's why. It actually says here, dueling sword. It'll have to do until you find a real lightsaber, is what it says in the equipment section. Retired Imperial Captain is a background, which is awesome. Smuggler. Smugglers get the most expensive item as part of their equipment. A stock light freighter. So something worth 100 grand in the system, they get. And they also then get 25 grand debt to a crime boss in addition to that. It's really, really good. They also get a heavy blaster
Sancho
pistol.
Panza.
Andrew Boo Boo, yeah. And a young senatorial is also one. A Wookiee and a tough native, right? Obviously.
Oh my god.
That's for the Jar Jar Binks folks, obviously. But like, how good are those as templates, right? Like,
I love the old style role playing trope of having like certain species be basically like all one character trope.
Mhm.
Like the elf, you're a
Mhm.
magic wielding ranger.
What, just the
deal with
Moncal?
it.
Yeah.
Like the Moncal. Did they do piloting, Ryan?
I'll tell you, right, so this is obviously like a... It's 3D plus 1 just means 3d6 plus 1. So the skill, the way it works is you've got dexterity, perception, knowledge, strength, mechanical, technical, right? That's your attributes. And within dexterity, you've got blaster, brawling, parry, dodge, grenade, heavy weapons, melee, parry, and melee. So the heading's got a stat, and then you can specify within that stat. So for example, with your 7D to spend, if you were the Moncal, you've got a dexterity of 3D plus 1, right? So if you wanted to be good at blasters, you could spend 2 of that 7D you start with in blasters, which means you'd roll 5D plus 1 for your blaster, because it's your dex plus the stuff you've spent additionally. But they happen to be really good at dexterity, as I mentioned. They've got 2D plus 1 perception, 3D plus 1 knowledge, 2D plus 1 mechanical, 3D strength, and 3D plus 2 technical. They're actually pretty solid all round, actually. And they're technical, which is computer programming and repair, demolition, droid programming and repair, medicine, repulsor lift repair, security and starship repair is their 3D plus 2, which is their strongest attribute. But I wouldn't actually, they're good at everything. I'm just looking at this just now. They're good at everything.
But it's interesting, like they are still specifically, you want to play a Mon Calamari, it's basically your class and race, right?
Well, that's it for everything, right? Because you don't get much beyond this, right? This is like your kind of your everything. Like it's that quick. So see, once you'd spent that 7D essentially, you've kind of done. You're done, right? That's your character gen. I kind of like that. I like the simplicity to that. It gives people more reason in character gen to try and say who wants to be the pilot, because when you're upgrading so little, you know. Although to be fair, I think the average difficulty for something is maybe a 5 you need to roll. So if you're rolling,
okay, that's yeah,
it's all right. Like especially since they're rolling, well, everything their lowest thing they're rolling is 2D plus 1, right? So that's a minimum of 3 they're rolling, which is not bad. And that's without spending anything in a skill. So Moncal are good at everything. Somebody has the old senatorial has 4D perception skills, which is nice. It's an interesting statement to make. The outlaw has 4D dexterity. I don't know. So what was it? So I obviously picked the student before, so I'll read their stat line as well. So they get 2D plus 1 dexterity, 2D plus 1 perception, 3D plus 1 knowledge, 3D strength, 2D mechanical, 2D technical, but they also get control, sense, and alter, which are the 3 force headings.
Yeah.
So control, sense, and alter have things you can do underneath them. So for example, things like your telekinesis and telekinetic kill are in there, right? Not every force character has levels in all of them. So they get 1D control, sense, and alter. But if you play, is it the Failed Jedi? Let me find the Failed Jedi instead. Failed Jedi gets 1D in control and 1D in sense, so they don't get the alter one. Which means you can't level that up unless you find somebody to teach it to you.
Okay.
So if you were a Failed Jedi, you'd need to find, say, like my character that I built to train you in alter, which I think is kind of cool from a story point of view. Because it gives you something to do.
I love that kind of thing. It's something that not many games would be willing to do, or at least not to do to a great extent, because then your class can become more powerful through story stuff that isn't just leveling.
Imagine that, yeah, like asymmetrical leveling,
idea.
yeah. Same as the Minor Jedi only has 1D in control, not the other 2 at all. What have we got? Quixotic Jedi has 1D sense and nothing else. So yeah, like, yeah, it's interesting. And you can obviously tell that I picked the one that didn't have Jedi in the title, because then I can be a Force Witch, right? But this wasn't meant to be us talking about a different, you know, Force lover. You know how it goes. It's just Alanis Morissette again, right? as a Force user. But anyway, so back to
One.
the game that we were playing. Remember? Let's go back to that. Our lovely Star Wars aside. Hopefully, everyone that wants to make characters for that, you've already done it. Basically, that's how easy it was. So
Actually,
yeah, back to this game though. So, what was the plan? We're looking to modify stuff, so I think we need some roles, because we've got people suiting up to go into space. So we have no leadership skills, which sucks, but we'll just have a... I think what we'll have is we'll have Alex roll engineering for each of them, and they'll roll in engineering based on that. So I like this. It's almost like Alex is trying to help them with their engineering role. And we'll see how they do out on their various pylon mast things on the ship. So
Zig first.
okay, so this is for Zig. Zig, you need to roll against that, or towards that, I guess.
And that's one for the captain.
Okay. For a second I thought it was Zig's roll, and I was very impressed. Okay.
Oh, you don't want me to roll engineering, man.
Oh, this is you're suited up, buddy. So
Jesus.
Just
Seeing a 40 and then realizing it
Mhm.
was a 12. Oy vey.
Yeah.
Jesus.
yup.
Yep. That's about right.
So, can use RP this scene for me, where you're obviously relaying stuff on comms, and obviously our chief engineer's on the bridge trying to rewire things while on comms to both of yous on your spacewalks.
okay.
You can start by just like relaying into, in position, getting your tech readouts from your wonderful engineer. Then
Where am I going again?
you're going to see that southern pylon on the ship.
I'm
Oh,
acting it in
sorry,
my
I couldn't
role.
Are we getting any weird? Is Weird with us? You joining us?
Sorry,
That's okay. Yep.
Message put on. Yep. So yeah, we'll be explaining. Probably quickly runs through it with Sig on those roles. Before turning to the captain, going, "You got that?"
I like the idea that it cuts to the captain and there's just like the spanner floating just next to him. Not even any words.
Circling.
What did you just say?
Okay. I'll slow it down. First principles. Here is how the scanner works. And then, it goes into a long tangent on
Okay.
the exact technology works. Which bit is he needs to work with, and which bit he needs to not touch.
Okay. Right. He's mentally noting all of it as you speak.
Yeah. Then 10, 15 minutes later, it's
Mhm.
then. Okay, you got that?
Trying to roll again?
You need me to talk you through each one as you do it.
Oh my god, I don't like engineers just never got to what.
It did get better though.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Okay, so if
I'm getting that a wee bit.
yeah, so if Weird can just keep saying amazing.
Keep repeating.
That's fantastic. Okay.
Amazing.
Maybe I wrote me into this because at least it probably wouldn't be as bad.
Or Alice.
You're the one that went away there.
Yeah, like
I was
thing is,
I mean, I'm still accessible.
what I like though is
me and Alice are in the mess
I
hall,
was
you
gonna
know?
say, yeah, like Alice and like we're probably like just better, hands down. Especially Alice, but
I think they were busy.
they are. I mean, they are. We'll cut to what they were doing in a minute.
I could spacewalk, but not for this. this.
Also, like, can I have Zora and Zig roll? First of all, a will save, then a perception.
Okay. I'll save.
Perception.
10 perception. Blank. Oh,
So,
I can tell what sort of rolls I'm going to be getting today.
evidently, yeah. You haven't done the sacrifices to the Roll20 gods.
Yeah.
So, we'll start with Zig. So, Zig, you, as you're like rewiring what you have to rewire and, you know, plugging in what you need to plug in and realigning what you need to realign in other technobabble, you can feel like almost like that mental tugging of something trying to like pull your focus away.
Okay.
So I'm going to use that old maritime way of saying siren songs, but like more of an attention-y seeking type thing than actual audible singing. And you're very aware it's happening, right? You're very, very conscious of it. Because this would be a compulsion effect, so you get a 30. Which is kind of nice. But yeah, and you can kind of like almost see off in the distance. You can kind of like make out like almost like I don't know, weird like silhouetted kind of jellyfish, right? Because you can't quite see any distinguishing shapes. You can just see clearly there's something moving with the drift behind it silhouetting it off in the distance, and you can definitely tell that like whatever it is seems to be like attempting to like pull your attention. So you have that. Zora.
Huh?
You find yourself.
You got none.
You got none. Fucking love that scene. I see someone's been speaking to Stephen recently. Your attention's like pulled entirely away into the drift space, right? You're seeing like pretty colours. You're staring off at the distance. You're seeing mech suits blink in and out, as if jumping through drift space constantly all over the place. But there's multiple of them. Yeah, you're hearing like almost like a call to arms, as if the war is over there. You know, like you just need to kick off the ship and just fly over that way. Various impulses running through your mind. Definitely making you forget you're stuck to the outside of a ship travelling through drift at who knows what speed.
Well, shit. I might as well kick off and start going that direction.
Zig would calm like everyone. Guys, there's something's out there.
It's not CC, is it?
No, they seem to be. I don't want to say drift blobs, psychic drift blobs, but that's kind of all I can.
You hear with a mouthful over the comms, demon blobs. Malice.
I haven't asked them yet.
Like how you see her roll her eyes, and they scream.
I hear the scream.
Captain, have you seen those two?
Can you roll perception, Zara?
Okay. Fine.
Yeah, you can hear that come through. Like you hear the.
Snap mute it, or would I still just be like...
You hear like what Weird said, because Weird addressed you.
Can't talk now, Weird. Gotta go to battle.
Like, are you busy?
I could be
Yeah,
unbusy. Sorry, I didn't catch your...
Just cut across from saying, get to the airlock.
Yeah, sure thing.
I think like Alice says to you, like off comms though, and he goes, "Did he say battle?" And just looks at you confused.
Yeah, I think he might have done.
She like pulls a gun out of the holster that's like at the small of her back. Just.
I'm gonna Get-
Hmm.
one of mine on the way. Guns working? We'll find out.
She
and I will go-
shrugs with like a curiosity face, as if that was my plan to find out. You know.
Yeah, I'll go swing by my room, pick up my sniper rifle, and head to the airlock.
Yeah, and she'll head to like the top airlock as well, because I think she'll go after Zig if you go after Zora.
I'll go over Zora
Yeah.
and the top. I mean, my suit would
Yeah.
literally just close up over my
Mhm.
face.
Yeah, and like she'll relay that to you as well. Weird, what they're up to, just so you're in the loop with open comms. And yeah, so I think what happens is Zig, you obviously see swimming off in the distance, swirling space blobs, and eventually over comms you hear Alice just like reassuring you, even though you don't specifically need reassured. And she's like, just keep your eyes on the hull of the ship. Don't look up. Just look at the floor or the roof or the ceiling. You know what I mean, the hull of the ship. Just look at that.
It's Alice's. Okay.
Don't think about demons. That's what they want you to think about. You know, because they're demons.
Are you sure they're demons?
Don't think about them.
Okay.
I'll be there soon.
Alice. That's okay. Yes. Do you know what? Okay.
Are you looking
at the hull of the ship.
Are you looking at the hull of the ship?
The ceiling, the roof, the hull, the outside, the ship. Yep,
Yeah,
ship,
just not up.
Ship,
Don't
ship.
look up. Okay, you can look up now.
Is there an up in the drift?
You just like feel contact from behind you.
Yeah.
It's Alice
Hi, Alice.
in her spacesuit, waving with a gun.
Gun necessary?
She shrugs. And she just fires it off into the drift.
Jesus.
Hit one of the blobs.
No, she's not aiming at the blobs. You don't necessarily know she's
Okay.
spotted what those things are. She just aims randomly off into drift away from the ship. Yeah, when she fires the gun, obviously, assuming it's a projectile weapon for some reason, I don't know why we're assuming this, but let's assume that. As soon as the projectile leaves like the barrel of the gun, it almost like fades away in like the multicolour of the drift, as if it ceases to be.
Okay.
And she just kind of cocks her head to the side and goes, huh. And then she throws the gun. And then the same thing happens as soon as it leaves her grip. Like just almost like vanishes as if being disintegrated by colour. She looks back at you and goes, I wouldn't let go.
You know what? I agree with you there.
Let's go back
We-
inside.
inside.
Yeah. She's doing that thing where she's kind of like half trying to grab you, but because they're spacesuits, they're not exactly super tactile. Also, thank you, Scott. I don't remember exactly when you typed that, but yes, welcome and thank you. But yes, so she helps like almost tries to like, slide you and push you into the airlock, so you just go back in. And then
Yeah, Zig's just gonna let Alice do.
yeah,
No point in resisting.
as you're like floating inside the airlock, she's on the comms specifically to you, Weird, as a private channel, and she goes, how's things looking up here on your end? And that's to Weird, who is muted. There we go.
At my end, I'm still in the ship.
You can hear her kind of like sigh very gently, and she goes, yeah, but did he manage to hook everything up right? Do you need me to do anything up here?
How's it look, Ryan?
I mean, it'll do. It's the fact that nothing has happened with the southern antenna, if you will. Or, I guess what would it be called? Dorsal ventral? Ventral, right? The ventral antenna. There's nothing happened to that. Arguably it's got worse, actually.
It's dead.
Can you please see to the ventral antenna?
No problemo. And then you can hear the kind of click of somebody finger gunning, but so you can't see it. And she then follows Zig inside and closes up the airlock and just gives like a suspicious look around and just mutters demons to herself, and then closes the. and
She's
well-
getting superstitious with me. Is me?
Yeah.
I'm the one always like.
To be fair, you have taught her everything she knows.
About wormholes.
Yeah. On the other side, we've got Lyko suiting up and leaving. Yep, the airlock, and yeah, spacewalk round to the ventral antenna, which is a fair bit, right?
Do I see anything on my journey? Do I spot anything that might be alarming? Considering the captain just said something about battle.
Yeah, you probably see him like walking. So that picture of the final hour, look at that fin that goes straight down. He's probably walking along that fin, as if it's the floor to him. So he'd be,
Okay.
what's it, perpendicular to the ship as he's walking down it, as if maybe about to break into a run. So,
Captain. On comm, obviously.
Mhm,
Captain,
mhm.
what's the situation? I don't see. Do I see anything?
No.
Yeah, I don't see anything. No hostiles.
Good, Lyko. You're coming to reinforce me.
Yeah, do you need some assistance with the equipment, or?
No, but here the front is that way. I would point.
Yeah.
We need to get there.
Okay. You've had the instructions. I'll follow you.
Oh God, that's what you let's go. I would start sprinting.
Okay. What was the battle talk about, Captain?
Now you mention it.
Oh, you still see it in full swing, by the way. Like,
Oh, right. You don't see it? People are getting destroyed out there.
People? I assume I'm still not seeing anything.
no, you're looking at the nice, pretty colours of drift space. That's what you're looking at. Whereas
Can I just see?
like from Zora's perspective, right? The
Ah.
Jedi were evil, but mostly
Mhm.
we've got you see like space battles with like the Aslanti Empire and stuff like that for the Viscarium getting involved in. You see like swarm ships attacking Vesk colonies. Like, yeah, you're seeing a lot of Vesk battle.
The Islandi's here, the swarm. What?
Captain, I don't see anyone.
Is it your boy eyes? Is it your boy eyes like make you blind?
My eyes are fine. I'm just.
Well, your eyes blue. In fact, you said no, they're red, and they're still the same.
no,
in
they're
No,
white.
they're white.
No, they're different. Are they different?
they are
though?
different.
Right,
They're
cool.
white.
Cool. Your white eyes, sorry then. Like,
I think there may be a slight blue tinge to the white. But yeah, they're glowy. No, I'm seeing just fine. I just see drift. Kevin, I think whatever you're seeing is not out here.
do I see myself as in drift?
No, you're seeing like,
In normal space. Just,
it's not the way in a dream you'll see about 40 perspectives without realising they've shifted, right? Like in a dream where like you'll be looking at something and you will, wait, how did I get from there to there? You have that level of like self-awareness where you are doesn't really matter. The fact that you're running down the antenna of a ship, that doesn't really bug you as much as the battles that way and you should get there like a good soldier. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
okay. Right. We're not drift.
Captain, we're definitely still in drift.
Here's a question. Do I see Lyko?
He's your Vesk buddy, right?
God damn it, soldier! You're just holding me up. It's just so.
Open comms. We may have something of a problem with the captain.
Alice replies, "En route, I lost my gun."
Should I be concerned?
No, or yes. I'll be there.
I'm gonna choose no for now.
Okay.
Does she need a gun, Michael?
Sorry?
Does she need a gun?
I don't think so.
Sure.
But
She laughs, thinking she shut her comms off, and she mutters to herself, "I am the gun." But she's left comms on because she's Alice.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you are. I don't think there's any weapons needed, but the captain seems to think he's back at war. Captain Admiral. The
None of this matters to Zora right now, anyway, so it's fine. Like titles are so irrelevant to the soon-to-be Abyss titled warrior. Yeah, I think as well, Zora, you're starting to see like the planet where you were having the, I can't even remember where we said it happened, but where there was the diplomatic meeting with the Pact ambassadors and the Vesk and the swarm attack that you'd predicted. This is you knowing it's about to happen, and you're going to try and stop it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right. There's people in trouble. Well, they need to go. I'll just run.
Mhm.
Again.
Yeah. So yeah, you've now got the the wonderful Zora just running down that fin now. And Alice calms you and it's like,
Can you
Is-
reach him mentally? Sorry.
"It's okay, I'll wait until Zig says to that first."
Try.
Because he saw me, but he didn't seem to. Yeah,
No,
I don't know.
mechanically, I probably can't, but we can we can try something. Hold on, let me read this.
Okay, well you're having a read at that. Like I think Alice will just kind of calm you, like, "Oh, just is he running? Is that?
Yeah, he's running the ship.
So about the gun."
Oh,
And then, like, you see her, like,
Lord.
she's not that far from you now, she's just, like, heading across the hull to where you're standing. She's trying to, like, attempt to run as carefully as she can, and while still staying connected to the hull. And she goes, "So, now we were saying how fun it would be if we just fired guns off into drift with no concerns."
That's not what I was saying, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I did that, and, well, the bullet went all rainbowy, and then it wasn't there. So that's new. If I had to guess, I'd say some kind of intense mass velocity shift, but we'll get to that. And then I threw the gun.
I don't really understand those words, but
Yeah.
I know the words, but in that particular order, it's yeah.
So imagine you were driving a very fast car, and then you were stopped by a rainbow wall that disintegrated you. And she just stares at you like through, like.
That's just saying the thing with different. Anyway,
And she nods.
We need to. I don't know. We need to stop him before he.
And she looks down at like her spacesuit, and she looks at like, I don't know, some kind of toolkit that's attached to the external part of the suit, and she like lifts out a spanner and just lets it go, and it, as soon as she lets it go, like almost like phases with rainbow light again, and then it vanishes. And she points at it as if that explained everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I figured from what you said.
And
But
she points over your shoulder at the captain, so that's bad.
yes, yeah, it is.
Captain.
It is.
Admiral.
I don't want to be disintegrated. Uh,
So that's
Alice, you won't hold me up. You'll follow me into battle.
yes, Zora. And she makes a face that you can't see. She says, the battle's over. Yay, we won. Yay. You can come home. No. Still done.
Assuming I do not see no one battle and.
Roll a little save.
Hmm?
And then Alice like
It's a
hit.
lot worse than the first one.
So Alice like hits you like on the kind of chest, which obviously translates a bit through the suit in 0G, if you will, to you, Lyko. And then she says, "As if she does that thing where she like nods, as if, come on, like help."
Yeah. Yeah, Captain. We need to report back to the bridge to debrief.
Command
After
planning a proper assault.
And I think Alice just says over the top of that as well when she just kind of draws like a disappointed look, and she just goes, "Soldier, the swarm are on the bridge. Let's go, save everybody, or conquer it. Let's go."
On the bridge.
Ah.
Turn around.
Gonna,
Swarmer in the bridge. We better get back in.
gonna roll a will
Side.
save for me, Zora.
It's better than the first, but
And like, I think at that point you're seeing like where you are, right? You're on the exterior of a ship, so like what they're saying is starting to make sense. The way like people can influence dreams by just saying things to you. So like, yeah, you're obviously on the outside of a ship. You've always been on the outside of the ship. You know this. And you're in the middle of a battle, of course, and somehow the swarm have got in. So, yeah, then you go defend the ship.
I'm gonna go. I'll just storm past them. But what he's waiting for? Let's go. Like,
Yes, Captain.
Yes, soldier. And Alice just looks at you and shrugs, Lyko, and then follows after him as quickly as she can.
And that's right.
Uh-huh.
And mentally broadcasting. Zig, meet us as soon as you can.
what kind of name is Alice for a Vesk anyway?
That's it.
Lyko?
Cut the chatter. I'm your commanding officer. Or lizard. Yeah, she just turns to Lyko and does that. I don't know. Look. As she also like heads inside as you get back in. Zig, where are you? What are you up to? What's happening with Zig?
Zig's just. I think Zig's kind of trying to fathom what
Hmm.
kind of with all that, like, probably not. Just like a
Hmm. Fair.
being,
Very fair.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
So he's just. I think he's kind of like in his little.
just trying to deal with the fact that you heard space sirens. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think Zora, you get in, I guess. Start barging through the corridors. You know, get gun pointed in various places. Weird, what you up to? On the bridge?
Yeah, I'm doing the scanner stuff.
Yeah,
I figured it's sorted.
yeah. I mean, that I keep going to say southern, but that ventral antenna definitely needs actual repairs done to it. But like that's fine. We'll get to that once the captain situation's resolved. So
It's not my fault. It's not my
wow,
fault.
you've fully graduated into the Stephen School of Captaining.
Wow. That's true actually.
Nod to Stephen. Yes. Look at the influence you have had on this poor soul. So
There's been a few. It's not my fault in this game.
Mm.
There's been a few.
So, just for the people in sci-fi general, I'm sharing some images of the swarm. So this is
Yeah.
what Zora is seeing. And this other one is also a bigger, scarier swarm.
Goodness.
Just so you know, he's heading to the bridge. But what's on the bridge is 4-armed large thing that's probably going to be dream interpreted very interestingly. So I'm excited for that. That'll be good.
I do have an idea to
Good.
help deal with that. So,
Good.
for instance,
Mm-hmm.
what I was going to do, and shall now do, is
Hmm.
Finn,
Vulcan neck crack.
could you report to the captain?
Finn blinks in, and it's obviously just like the holograms like projected in motion with you guys as you are running through the corridors, following the captain running through the corridors, heading up to the bridge. And as report to the captain, he's right there. What am I reporting?
AI, what's the situation?
AI. He kind of like shakes that off, and he says, "What situation? You were outside, now you were inside. Apprise me of the situation."
It's a situation on a swamp.
The swarm? I don't know, we're too far out to check on that. We're in drift space.
Damn, everyone keeps on telling me we're in drift space. Does nobody see the battle outside? The swamp area.
And you can probably like hear the battle, right? And you can probably feel like the vibrations through the hull and stuff. As if, you know, you're in combat. Mm.
Does it? Can't even feel that front. We just got hit.
Finn just turns to like Lyko and Alice, who are obviously trying to keep up, and he just says to Lyko on like private comm channel, "I'm not programmed for games." Lyko Quint.
No game. Captain seems to be disoriented and experiencing some sort of flashback to prior combat. I was hoping that a status report from you might shake him out of it when he realized that the ship was unable to sense anything.
So we're not under attack.
No, but the captain seems to be under some sort of effects.
I see. I'm resisting having him sing, a mind affecting effect.
I assume it probably is a mind affecting effect, which for future reference I get +2 against, which I always forget.
Mind affecting effects, gotta love them. He goes, "Indeed, I have no recommendation. I am not programmed for any kind of counselling, unfortunately."
Why does everybody keep on calling the captain?
And then Finn just says, "Good luck," and blinks out.
I'm gonna comment everyone but the captain and say, I'm gonna try some sort of ruse to get him into a slightly safer place in the bridge, but I don't have any ideas. Does anyone know Vesk military terminology
Yes,
better than...
Alice says very bluntly. "I've got this."
Okay.
And, you know, doesn't elaborate, obviously. So,
I'm just trusting her to do it.
So, Zora, you burst onto the bridge. There's clearly some kind of Thresher Lord swarm trashing consoles.
I don't want to destroy my bridge.
I mean, what are you talking about? The bridge is being destroyed by the swarm. You need to defend
I
it.
know, I'm committed. Don't you worry.
Will save for me?
Right. Will save.
Bad.
Creeping up, it's creeping up.
Weird. How do you respond to in fact, Zora, describe how you approach the bridge, considering that Weird is indeed the Thresher Lord that you were seeing.
Oh no.
He's a giant four-armed monster, right? No offense, Weird.
It's true, man. I probably just like kind of, you know, SWAT like go in with a gun, like, you know what I mean. Like, see it, and I hate to see this. Sorry, Weird. Oh, shit it.
That's fine. It's okay. Weird. How do you respond seeing this slowly unfold, having been on comms with everybody, obviously, for most of this?
I'm very sorry, Weird.
I just have the image of him just phasing through the floor and just saying nope. Alex?
Yes. I wasn't talking, that's fine.
Welcome back.
Yes. How much time do I have to react?
Well, keep in mind you're probably aware of this happening, right? Because you've had the entire conversation on comms, as I said, so, like, you're probably expecting him to be rushing this way since Alice and Lyko would have kept you in the loop and you've heard their conversation and yeah, like you're as up to date as you can be. The only thing you don't know is what's actually going through Zora's head.
But I'll be with it enough to pop my shield out and brace myself. Whoever's coming.
Yeah, so you activate fortification mode. Yeah, and
as your shield goes up. Yeah, everything.
And I think for the interpretation, that's just the Thresher Lord's like wings expanding for you and vibrating really like rapidly, and the thing opening like its mouth and mandibles and doing some kind of shrill scream of battle, Zora, as it's preparing to do some kind of, I don't know, swarm-based attack on you. I don't know how they work, so that's a Viscaran problem. As that happens, like Alice, just slightly ahead of Lyko, obviously isn't that far behind Zora anyway. She over comms tells the bridge to enter a combat mode. So all of the windows seal with barriers, like hard metal barriers, obviously on the exterior.
Good.
Almost like the bridge is like well protected. And Lyko, you see the telltale purple light of her technomancy.
Okay.
And she just summons a bazooka, as you can imagine.
Oh no. Bazooka.
Is this a good idea?
She doesn't. I mean, you probably get that out by the time she's pulled the trigger.
Okay.
Because she just essentially jumps as if going to try and do like shoulder barge the captain from the behind. But she does that with the bazooka and pulls the trigger. So, Laura,
Lovely.
can you do a fort save for me? Cool. And then I guess from Alex's point of view or Weird's point of view, he just sees the captain like SWAT team his way in, raise the gun. You see like the glow coming from behind the captain instead of the gun itself, and then he just like you hear the boom, and he gets volleyed across the bridge and smacks into the where the windows at the front of the bridge would be, but they're now shielded by the metal. Yeah, captain's still conscious, with the fort save of 28. Yeah, definitely still conscious. But your will save as well now, it's kind of like shaken, right? Your 25 was enough to get you a bit of clarity away from the weird siren calls from the drift. And especially maybe that slight knock to the head Alice helped with there. I will need to work out what damage she actually does with that, because that definitely didn't not hurt. I know that Alice is probably still due an update, but her weapon should probably not be a million miles off. Where is her sheet again? Here is Alice PC. So let me see if I can work out what this would be if the sheet decides to load, because these are the weirdest, slowest sheets ever. Where are we? That'll do, right? What's that?
That'll do. Ah! Fuck. What did I do? Oh. Sorry, bear with me.
That's okay.
Accidentally closed Chrome.
Where's her
There we go.
Where's her technomancy nonsense? There we go. And where is the bazooka?
There we go.
Where is bazooka?
Bazooka.
She cast gun?
Yeah.
She did.
Trying to think where. So no, there is the one to just summon tech. It's like a technomancy thing. You just summon like a gun. I don't know. This seems like something I just click and we'll do that. Is there a role for this? 9d6. Do you want to roll that for me, Zora?
Okay.
It's at least something I can have happen on our sheet. There you go.
Cool.
So you take that, but let's say you take half of that because you did your fort save pretty well. Yeah. I know it's meant to be a reflex save, but we're mostly just patching in a whole bunch of things in place of the weapon that she's meant to be using that I don't have for her yet.
So,
But yeah, Technomancers have that thing where you can just be like, I just summon a gun because I can.
Yeah.
Which is a great move, to be honest. And we know she has diner destroying guns, so. But aye, so you get blasted by that across the bridge.
Splat.
And then obviously she kind of just, I think from Weird's perspective, he just sees the captain line up the shot and then get volleyed like a cannonball past him. And then when you look back, you just see Alice like unshoulder the giant kind of purple energy bazooka as it hits the floor with a thunk as it dissipates. As she then just like kind of kneels down and kind of almost like panting as if she's out of breath. Like, just gives you like a thumbs up while she's catching her breath to you. Weird.
Be a sort of confused thanks. Weak smile.
Captain,
I'm
how
still
you
seeing
feeling
this
over
one.
there?
I'm still seeing this one, beastie.
No, as I said, like you made your will save and stuff. You've managed to shake it all. You're still aware that happened. It's just
I've been rubbing my head like, what just happened?
Think something was causing you to see. Well, no, not quite. See, go back to some of your previous battles from the war. Yeah.
it means you went crazy.
You were hallucinating.
Feel crazy. The last thing I remember was tried the lower dish, the lower thing. Did I fix that?
No.
Alright, I best get back to that then.
Alice just puts her hands up as well, like, no.
Oh, okay. Anybody else?
I guess maybe safest we have more than one person go out. So I'm willing to go back out.
Like,
What if we all go crazy?
Alice thumbs between her and Lyko and she goes, I think it's best we both do the ventral antenna for now. You and Sig don't go outside. Yes.
Thumbs up.
And she kind of just looks at you weird, as if they're your responsibility now. She just nods.
He rolls his eyes.
Yep, they scream, as we know. Yep.
Yes.
In the drift, everyone can hear you scream.
That might be a first for him.
Yeah, yep. Right, we can have first at session 86, that's fine. And Alice then, as like, I guess you and Alice are heading to that southern, or ventral airlock again, she kind of just says to you, she goes, sometimes you just have to vesk the problem.
Yeah. It worked. I'll give you that. I'm concerned about going back out there, but the captain. I don't know. I didn't feel anything. I usually, when I am under some sort of influence or something's trying to influence me mentally, I usually, even if it's working, I can usually sense it or not working.
Oh, your eyes are different.
I think he'd reflexively like close his mask when she says. Yeah, that. It was a strange. Eox is. Yeah. It was weird.
She just shakes her head and goes, oh, I've never been.
It's It's not great.
Mm. Oh well.
Anyway,
Yeah.
more time later. Let's go get this. Go get this done.
Hmm. And yeah, I think the plan will be that she'll take the point on the antenna, and Lyko can watch her back.
Happy to.
In case there's space nonsense. And yeah, I don't even think you need to tell her much, to be honest. Weird, she's pretty keyed up on the ship systems, to be fair. I'll have her roll anyway, because it's funny. And obviously, I know I need to adjust for some level disparity, but she isn't that far behind, right? Is it 4 levels behind, or is it more?
I think she's 6 levels behind now. I can't remember.
Oh god, she is. She's Technomancer 8, actually.
Yeah.
Oh dear. That's fine.
Every Sunday night, I remember.
Where are we here? Well, we'll roll this, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so technically that's a 40 if it's plus 8, right? Because it is one of her skills. So, or plus 6 levels behind? Yeah. User 14? Yeah, so that's a
Depends
38.
if she's is she an int class?
So that's a 38. Yes. She is.
She is an int class, so is there an ability score increase at some point between there? I think there is, because she'd get like another. She'd get more skills because of int, which you know. I think
Probably.
that's the way this game
But
works,
it's
right?
so it is probably a 40 then, right? But
Yeah, she would have more skills. Yeah.
so 6 more from the level, and then whatever from an ability score increase. So it's either 39 or 40. But either way, she's definitely outclassed our team. She probably also just decides to say to Lyko once they're done, like, I'm gonna go check the dorsal antenna as well. You can go back in if you want, or you can come with me. But I think I want to take the long way around. She just points like round the hull.
Okay. I think it's best we keep 2 out here in case anything starts.
Good. It'll give us time to catch up. And she just walks off like big, magnetic enforced strides. And after like you catch up with her, she kind of like turns to you as she's walking. She goes, "So, what's new since last we spoke?"
Well, 10 minutes ago. No, I get what you're meaning. To be honest with you, I don't know. Stuff happened down in Eox, and well, I guess I'm carrying someone with me in a sense.
Oh. Okay. I mean, I think I can relate. Just gives you like a look and a smile, and then keeps
Look at
walking.
it slowly askance. Well, in my case, it's a dead person, some sort of magical.
Yeah, same. Except the magic part. Or maybe. Wait. And she keeps walking. Yeah. Do you push that at all?
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain that one to me. I'm not quite sure I follow.
Well, remember when you found me?
Yeah, you were
In
an
Baskerville.
AI.
Yeah. Well, I also had a record of every single conversation everybody had in that place, digitally. So.
Okay.
And they're like all dead.
Yeah.
And I think it's
guess
still
you
in
could-
there somewhere, and she like taps the side of the helmet.
I was there twice.
Oh.
Did I tell you that?
She kind of shrugs and goes, "You went back?" She shakes her head vaguely.
Cindio, actually, I didn't so much go back as I went again
Okay.
at the same time.
Oh. Like a replay.
Sort of.
But like editing software. She looks at you.
I'm not big on editing, but yeah, probably.
Yeah. She kind of nods. She goes, like if you're looking at security footage and you're reviewing it, and then you decide, maybe people don't need to see this corporate infraction.
Typically we would be doing the opposite of that, but yeah.
Oh yeah, because you were a steward. Huh. And look at us now. She waves vaguely at the... I was going to say the abyss, but what I really mean is the drift, because the abyss is inside having a breakdown.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Oh dear.
Strange times. Yeah. So anyway, it's Sindel that I went to collect the electroencephalon. I didn't know exactly what that would entail, and
Hmm.
I'm still not sure I know exactly what that entails. But I am in some sense carrying him around with. I don't know whether it's like a mental thing. It's definitely magical, but I think it's at least partly technological also.
She kind of like stops and like stands in front of you as if this is a serious moment now. She mag boots in front of you, and she says, "Yeah, I really like it. Trust me. Of all the people in the crew, I get that. Like, I'm somewhere between." And she like puts like both of her hands up and looks between them. She goes, "I'm real," and she gives you a look as if she knows that word is a terrible word to use. But I wasn't real. And she like
Quite true. You were a machine, and now you're something more. I don't mean that as any sort of insult to machines.
she shrugs and she goes, most biological life's a machine of some design. And she kind of like mutters that mostly to herself. And then she says, how I got to here, and I don't mean here, you know, but I'm not really sure of the steps I took. I just knew that it was a step I had to take. And I feel like sounds like you had to take this step. So I wouldn't worry about it. It might be heavy now, but
Yeah.
she shrugs because she's trying to be like poignant and like helpful and comforting, but at the same time she has no idea what she's talking about. So
It's cool. It's like I was presented with a choice that I never expected to have and didn't really have the time to process. I'd like to think I'd make the right choice either way, but who knows?
So,
Anyway,
well, something the captain before he became an admiral said to me was not often. I'm going to paraphrase him here. It's not often about making the right choice. It's about making a choice. She just looks at you as if that was the wisdom. She kind of nods. No, sorry, you definitely did not.
Sagely.
Like, I don't. Yeah.
I did not say that.
Yeah, like you definitely didn't. You probably said something vaguely similar in passing to her, but yeah, she's clearly decided that was a lesson she's taken on board at some point through one of your many off-camera conversations.
well, I think I've made the right choice. I'm pretty certain I have.
Well, you're still here, and if you're meant to be here, it was the right choice. If you're not meant to be here, then you've screwed us all over. She kind of laughs to herself at that.
I think it was the right choice in general, but I don't know if it's going to be the better choice for me in the long run. We'll see.
What would be better for you, though, in the long run? You know, what's the next step for Lyko?
I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to go next. I miss this station.
Well, I do. I know where you're going next. I'm gonna go check out this goddamn antenna. She turns around on the spot and then starts marching.
I will follow.
Yeah. And we'll see how she does on her antenna roll. Where are we here?
Assuming this whole time we're not seeing anything bizarre or...
Just the pretty colours of the drift spinning around you, right? Like, it was probably quite a nice backdrop for the conversation to take place, to be fair. This is plus some abstract number. What was it? Plus essentially 8, I think we'd agreed on. So is that 31 then? Yeah. So She calms you, Weird, and she says, ventral and dorsal antenna both look. She kind of like shrugs to herself while she's thinking of the words. Adjusted, aligned, calibrated, driftable. Yeah.
Very good.
Sure. We're coming back inside, and none of us have went space mad. She turns to Lyko and gives him like a dirty look as if, have you gone space mad while I turn my back?
I seem to be fine.
And then he kind of nods, and then you can just hear her laughing in her suit, like obviously, just because she's amusing herself, clearly. She goes, we're heading back inside, and then cuts the comm off, and yeah, he's head back inside. So,
Cool.
unless anybody has anywhere else to be, I guess we're back on the bridge. I think, Ziggy, you're still in your room, right? Unless you want to have moved.
Sorry, I'm muted.
No. It's okay.
I said Zig would probably head to the bridge after a while.
Yeah, because it'd taken them time to walk around the ship and stuff, right? Like, that'd taken
Yeah.
a fair bit of time for them to do that. So, yeah. So, you can head back to the bridge for that. But if you've got nothing you want to do up until that point, that's fine. I'll cut to somebody else, unless there is anything.
No, nothing pressing.
Zora or Weird on the bridge while they're doing their ventral and dorsal spacewalk. Anything you just want to get up to?
Probably just sitting down on a chair, rubbing my head.
Mm-hmm.
Headache.
Mm-hmm. I think Finn is running a diagnostic on you or something, as you've sat in the summoned chair on the bridge. It probably like comes out of the floor where the captain would stand. Whether or not you've asked him to run the scans, probably irrelevant.
I'm probably not caring.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably just telling him to keep the eye out my light, the light out my eye. Sorry, the eye out my light, the light out my eye every now and then.
Get the light out of my eyes. That's a proper sci-fi plot right there. Yeah. So I think everybody just assembles on the bridge by this point. Yeah. I think Weird, you've done all the calibrations you're likely to get out of this crew for your sensors. So
I tried.
yeah. That's what you get for looking like a big swarm beast, apparently.
I think it was.
But yeah, so what's the plan?
I guess I'll scan for CC.
Yeah. Want to give me some kind of, I guess, computers roll?
43.
So you filter through the data that starts like filtering in, right? Lots of filtering, and there is just crazy amounts of like almost like background data that's coming through. Almost like the sensors would normally just pick up like white noise equivalent levels of data. Whereas with the calibrations that have been made, it's like filtering out everything that isn't like the way drift drives interface. And you get do you want to roll a D 200 plus 50 roll for me? There you go. You get 211 drive signatures.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Any of them small and annoying?
Give me a piloting. Is it? Sorry, yeah. Piloting check.
20.
Yeah, like you can. I think with the 20 as well. Like your work on drift engines before, and knowing what it takes to like shift something small or something big into drift space, right? You're able to like say this reading is a brighter color than this reading, so the duller color is clearly a smaller object. Like I think you've got like basic understanding for drift shifting. But yeah, so you could probably filter that down to, I don't know, like probably about 70 now. I'll just type that in. So there's probably 70 that would be shuttle size were smaller. But you know yourself that generally you need something that's probably got like the ability to transport about 30 to 50 people is usually the smallest you can get a drift engine onto without stranger warping effects. It seems like there was a certain amount of mass that was needed to like shift into drift without it just being like tore apart.
Yeah, the effect of the mass.
Yeah, yes, the effect of the mass. Yes, nothing else. Definitely nothing else. The effect of the mass. The mass affecting effect, you could say. Which might be my suggestion for the title.
The Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh dear. So anyway, that's what you get filtered down to. So there is still a lot. And the theory you had about entry points and exit points for drift space does seem to like check out, where this every single reading is the same distance apart.
Excellent.
Yeah. So every single one of those 211 readings is the exact same distance from where you are at all points. Yeah. So either everything's moving at the same speed in the same direction, or drift is relative. Full stop. So, yeah.
I'd write all of this down and hand it to the captain.
Mhm.
There you are.
Fantastic. What am I looking at?
Just everything we said.
I know.
Those are all of the drift signatures that might be easily.
Okay.
Given that they're all equidistant, I don't think that we'll have any luck in chasing them down in drift.
Okay.
You can bring up like a hologram of this data as well and plot it out and like as best you can, and it's just literally as the 70 signals are displayed that he's filtered it down from the 211 that he picked up. It is just 70 perfectly equidistant points away from you.
Right. Okay, so it's not likely that you'll be wandering, basically.
It's almost like it's like you're the point of reference for the scanner, so everything's plotted around you, but everything's perfectly plotted around you.
Right.
So yeah, it's almost like drift just seems to accommodate your need to be there. If that makes sense.
Yes, this appears to be a non-isomorphic plane that I can't map a usual manifold to.
Fair enough. Well, if that's the case, then we might as well keep on going towards Akaton then, and hopefully get some more evidence later on.
Alice kind of mutters to herself after Weird says that, just that I used to try and build those. Just mostly to herself. Because, you know, she was like a research AI. Once upon a time. Nobody? No?
Wait, yeah.
Cool. I just thought everybody's audio would cut there.
They had you trying to create spaces that worked similarly to the drift. The drift.
Not specifically the drift, no, just, you know, dimensional mapping.
Anything that would be applicable?
Just stares at you. Like what?
I have no idea.
She kind of just nods. Because they were very difficult to draw.
Any ideas how to find maybe foreign objects in a place?
She kind of turns to you and she goes, are we doing this whole captain and first of the officers thing, or are we doing the I can tell you what I'm thinking thing right now, Captain?
You can tell me what I'm thinking, as always. Always.
Excellent. I think you've seen enough for today. She's nods, like sympathetically. Like, It's maybe best we don't have you looking at things.
Fair enough.
She kind of just nods slowly. Like, that went well. Having shot you in the back, you know? She's still like,
Yeah. Don't remember it.
Okay. So, if we're not able to actually ascertain where anything is, maybe the way to go is trying to give him some sort of signal to find his way back to. Once we drop back out.
You mean log into the forums?
I mean, it couldn't hurt.
or we could leave like some kind of buoy with like a signal coming from it at like our exit point to the drift. She just shrugs
Also,
vaguely.
an idea. Yeah.
Like it's not great, but it's something. But I feel like as soon as we leave our exit aperture, will drift just blend back into the bowl of drift? She looks around like she's trying to make sense of it.
I have no idea what any of that means. I'm sorry.
Zora's got a headache, even better do.
And Alice kind of like just accepts that, you know, she just looks to Weird, almost like, please help. Like, you're probably the only one that thinks on her level.
We can drop a buoy.
I mean, the other opportunities we could do is, if we had the fuel, that is, we could try doing 70 drift jumps in drift.
We don't know that that will get us anywhere that we need to be anyway.
No.
It also seems like it is the sort of thing that has a lot of room to go wrong.
Yes. Because we'd lose, unless we left... So, we can build a small drift stabilizer, because the bullet's in the gun, Lyco, remember. And if we can build a drift stabilizer and put it onto a buoy, it won't go all rainbowy and disintegrated. And then what we could do is we'd have a point of reference to jump back to, but we could jump the ship to another ship, and then that would be our point of reference. If we remap, and she just sighs and she goes, we remap, and she waves at the hologram of 70 signals. We can then overlay it with what we got from our original position. That gives us more data, and then if we keep doing that, 70 or shrugs is we could do it till we're just almost out of fuel, because we'd need to save 2 jumps, one to get to CC if we didn't find them, and the other one to leave drift.
The assumption is that we'd be able to identify them as the same signals because the patterning would assume that the space is Euclidean within itself, even if it's not mappable to our plane.
She kind of looks at you like kind of like, you know, almost like a bunched up lip. She goes, we wouldn't know that till we remapped. Okay. And she goes, 2 drift stabilizers we need to build. One on a buoy here for us, traveling at the same vector, I guess. And then another one on a missile fired at one of these 70 signals as a point of reference.
This seems kind of crazy.
Yes. But you want to find a needle in an infinite haystack. And the needle might not be in the haystack.
What's it? Anyway,
The quickest solution to those problems is always to burn the haystack.
An infinite haystack? It'd be a big fire.
Is the drift infinite? I understood that it drew in other dimensions, which theoretically should also be finite.
Is our dimension finite?
Alice goes to answer
I
that and then just
assume
stops
so.
herself because she doesn't actually have an answer.
If it were infinite, surely there could only be one.
So
There's different types of infinite, Lyco.
Alice just nods and looks at Lyco as if, see.
In the same way that you've got an infinite number of divisions between 1 and 2, then we could be the division between 1 and 2, whereas the difference between the infinite plane of our existence and the infinite plane of the drift is the difference between the infinite of whole numbers.
I
Alice
think he
just
just looks at
nods.
you for a second, looks down at the ground, and just walks away.
I'm glad I've just been watching all these math videos recently.
And then Alice just kind of turns to you and just kind of like shrugs and smiles, I guess, to you, weird. Because that's closer to the Nyx 5 that she remembers. You know, that level of bullshit. And that's the bullshit she understood. So yeah, and she goes, so I liked my plan. But he didn't like my plan. She looks at you, Zora. Zora.
Oh, I'm muted. This time I was actually muted. I mean, any plans? Plan.
Any plans? Oh,
This
Technically
is
true.
like literally just Stephen. Like what happened? Nico, you guest stars for like a couple of seconds and you just adopt his entire captaining philosophy. Any plan's a plan. And
I mean,
it's not my fault.
they're boys and stuff. I mean, it's something, right?
Well, her plan is to try and build something that means anything that loses the drift velocity you have or the drift stability you have won't just vanish when it loses the same integrity, right? Like the bullet in the gun. So she needs to build 2 of those. I mean, you just don't have another drift engine. So
It's true.
I don't know how
It's
she's going to build 1, never mind 2 of those. And she wants to leave 1 where it is, but still have it moving at the same direction you're moving at, but you have no way to tell that because drift's weird. And then she wants to fire 1 at one of the 70, just so she can keep that like data as a point of reference, so she can remap everything when she jumps again. And then she wants to do that as many times as the ship will allow -2, so that she can jump to the signal that seems most like CC, and then leave drift space. The problem is none of that's guaranteed because you still need to narrow down who CC is out of these 70 signals, assuming he's in drift, assuming he has a drive signature still.
I mean,
So infinite
that won't be able
haystacks,
to-
right? With maybe no needle. Yeah.
all of that won't even be probably possible in this 12-hour period. So unless we're actually like standing still right now, which I don't think we are we?
No,
Still-
you're always moving in drift.
Yeah, we're still
Yeah.
in transit.
When you go into drift, you program in and program out for what, like, kind of, like what network of relays, I guess, have been set up within the drift, I assume. However, the sci-fi mapping of the stuff I don't understand works. You have got in and out spots, and yeah, that's how you can phase into drift and phase out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll work on it. And we'll just go to act on it.
Anybody that's confused about drift space, just remember Soul Reaver back in the day. There you go. That solved everything.
Old Soul Reaver.
Right,
the
just
legacy of Cain.
just when you shift into like your Raziel, you're in like dead space. You shift into spirit space. You shift back. There you go, perfectly solved. But yeah, I think Alice just kind of shrugs at you and she goes, "I don't know if we can do this plan. I don't know if we can find him yet. I think if we had a handful of drift engines I could play with." She just looks eager. I was like, maybe, but
Everybody wants a drift engine.
she shrugs and she goes, well, I hadn't had this idea before, and now I have this idea, and it's quite an exciting idea. But the only problem would be that if the mapping doesn't have relative points of reference, then, or if the points of reference are relative, it might not work, is what I'm saying. Even if it works, it might not work.
Oh.
She looks like deadly serious, like she is concerned for CC, like look of like, I would like to get him back, but even if everything I said works, it might not work.
On the end of the day, I think everything suggested here might not work when it comes to the drift. We'll figure it out. We'll try and get our hands on something.
Yeah, like CC, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. She just nods and then goes to like walk away, then doesn't know where she's going, so she just stands.
So, shall we keep on going towards Akaton then?
We didn't stop.
Well, disperse.
Aye, Captain. And she just walks off the bridge. Yep.
I'm going to go lie down while he shakes his head.
And Finn just follows you, scanning you.
Oh, he's still scanning away.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Just constantly. Just whether you like it or not, just following you and scanning you.
Still got my eyes on my hands on my eyes.
Pies.
Can't speak right.
We're taking
Speak
the light
child.
out of your eyes, don't worry. Yep. Right, so I guess Weird has the bridge. I guess.
Yeah, you're the captain now.
Just go look around.
Yeah.
Look down at the captain's seat, which is too small for me in my armor. Well,
Like when the captain's seat's not in use after like that 2-second glance, it just like folds back into the floor anyway, because normally the captain's space is just for standing.
I just go and stand there
Mhm.
and just look around.
You see like the dent the captain has made at like, the front left of the bridge. With like the kind of almost shutters that are down over the windows. Which is the most common way of saying the blast screens over the, viewports. But and yeah, I think Zig, what are you up to at this point?
I think. Again, I think Zig's just kind of sitting, peering out to drift. And I think he's kind of like, when you like over focus on something and it kind of, you don't know if you're seeing the thing you're expecting to see or if your brain's just like making you see the things and looking for weird drift beings.
I mean, you're definitely still, when you're looking out into drift, you're still seeing like strange, almost jellyfish-like things floating
Okay, right.
off in the distance. Again, they're very off in the distance. Like if you blinked, maybe you'd think it was floaters in your eyes, right? Like it's the type of like vibe you'd get as you try and blink.
I think maybe then he would. Maybe ask just like the room in general. How likely are no? What's how likely? Who am I?
It's like leaving a message on an answer phone. That's what this is.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to think of the way he's gonna word it. It's basically wants to ask, like, if drift beings were real, which, well, obviously they are, but well, maybe they're not.
This is going great.
This is how I imagine Zig would ask it, though.
Yeah, that is fair.
This is in character. If drift beings were real, Well, I suppose they are, but maybe they're maybe I'm just making them up. But is there any account other than just Lifestale's the Drift Bee?
You just hear the voice say, the voice say, I am unfamiliar with ancient marital traditions. However, the accounts of many drift travellers, the VESC have quantified if you wish to review their data. It's Finn, obviously, in the room.
Yes.
Excellent. And then he just, sends it to your comm. Anything else?
That's all. Finn, thank
I would advise you check in on the Admiral, being Chief Medical Officer.
And Zig would kind of remember
But you've
that he was or maybe he would actually put together that oh wait, maybe that was that thing that I felt earlier and was paying too much Captain Nap, too busy thinking about it. And then just kind of falls on the captain's or Admiral. Captain Admiral.
The comm doesn't go through. Finn puts his hand up and goes, the Admiral is sleeping. I would advise we allow this rest. But I've also sent, and he's motioning to the comm that sat on the bed next to you or something, and it was glowing after the data was sent for the drift beings, or tales from the drift, I guess. And he says, I have also sent you the results of the scans. Nothing obviously damaged, except some spinal displacement from sudden impact, but nothing that we can't remedy, I'm sure. My medical capabilities are significantly limited, as he just deliberately puts his holographic hand through a table. I would suggest if you had anything to do without the captain's interference, perhaps you will make use of his time unconscious. Can nods. Captains can be stubborn when it comes to self-care.
Yes, of course. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
There is no VESC term for self-care. He blinks off, as if just pondering that thought as he blinks out.
I think Zig will think about that as well, and because it's kind of, well, it's not a sad thought, but it is kind of a
Yeah.
oh.
Just another interesting tidbit about the VESC, right?
Yeah. Man, maybe he needs my help more than I realize.
Yeah, right.
Self-care.
Imagine being in a position.
And
Sorry.
I think the camera drifts out the window into the drift. Drifts more through the drift. Zooms past these beings that the audience get a really good look at, but Zig doesn't because it's meta knowledge. So the people at home get a nice, beautiful visual of whatever that is, and camera passes all the way out to a very jury-rig-looking little mech floating in space, spinning out of control, and inside is just chittering and screeching, and what looks like using exposed wires to fix and solder other pieces of tech hardware inside. So almost like using broken parts of the wiring and circuitry to repair perhaps more vital parts. And half of the like the fur on one of these arms singed, with like smoke still coming off of it, and his foot still tapping away, just keeping the same rhythm that he was keeping in the last little cutscene that we had. And then every now and then just looking over his shoulder out the view kind of port of the mech, and then looking back, kind of shaking his head and chittering away angrily. And then the camera just like zooms away again. As it's zooming out of his mech, you just see these kind of almost fluttering silhouettes slowly start to circle the mech, menacingly, if you will. And then, yeah, drift sharks. And that's when we end the session. Dun dun dun. So, what would you like to call the session? Because I know what my suggestion's going to be. It's Mass Effecting Effect, but there's a lot of good quotes from tonight. I'm not gonna lie, it was significant. So, what's our thoughts? While we deliberate, folks at home, we shall be back in a moment. I'm just gonna do this to you guys. Right, let's get our name sorted.
We call it something about drift. Not specifically that, but I have a drift reference in it.
Sure.
My brain is functioning at roughly 2 or 3%, I'd say.
Fair.
So I'm mostly just gonna giggle at things at this point.
Fair. But yeah, have at it, folks. Type in the suggestions.
Was it?
That is what you say every
Ah.
week.
I know.
Whether in this game or not, I imagine.
It was
Passing children, old people, dog.
Right, so what was to do with the drift? Was it when you were inside the ship or outside the ship? Okay.
Oh no, it was going to be drifting, but I can't remember why it's drifting.
Hmm.
The reason.
Okay. Anything from?
I just said 90.
Anything weird? Anything Lyco? Not even Lyco, sorry, Zora. It's because I read Lohengrin.
That's all I can think. That's all I can think.
Okay.
I've got nothing yet.
Drifting towards Agaton, DTA.
That wasn't. I didn't do that.
I know. Yeah. I'll just expound upon Zora's one of thoughts adrift. Yeah. Same idea.
Force Adrift, yeah.
Cast's gun, yeah.
Force Adrift is probably better, yeah.
It's the same, really. It's the same. Anything else that we're going for? Because I don't see any votes yet either. My brain isn't exactly working 100% for this either, am I?
I will
Sad to
Force
say.
Adrift. Kiwi.
Not thoughts adrift, no.
Gone.
It's good.
Splitting my vote,
I've seen that, apparently.
and I'm also removing the one.
Wonky drift blobs of desire. Yeah. Okay.
Where are they? Where are they?
Oh, that was it. Tales from the Drift. That was the other suggestion I had.
Tales of Triumph.
Thank you. Indeed. Well, I said the name of the channel. Hey-o.
You did it.
I'm gonna vote for my own one. because that's how it works. I'm not even going to vote for Mass Affecting Effect anymore. I'm going to vote for Tales from the Drift. Uh-huh.
Can't believe done.
Okay. Well, Thoughts Adrift seems to be winning so far. Any other vote? Oh, no, we've got it's a tie so far. Who's not voted? Okay, so Weird, you need to vote.
I have voted. It's been
Okay.
voted. Tales from the Drift.
Cool, okay. Right, and then I voted for that, and it was literally the other two. So, we need you to do a tiebreaker here, Colin. Thoughts Adrift or Tales from the
Like-
Drift?
Eyes. Because I've rolled.
Cool,
Um,
yep. So Thoughts Adrift or Tales from the Drift? You're the tiebreaker. If it makes you feel better, none of us wanted this.
And you know that really is the point of democracy.
Yeah. When it all comes down to one person. Yep.
Tales from the Drift works better.
Yeah.
As the title. Have a little.
Perfect. There we go. Unless Zig had anything else there that he was typing.
No.
Tales from the Drift it is. There we go. There's a good session title. Mostly because I like Tales from the Loop. So, Tales from the Drift's a nice reference.
Tales.
From the Drift.
DuckTales.
Yeah, DuckTales. Ooh, as they say.
Ooh.
Yeah, thank you. Wait, and you needed more enthusiasm than me. Like that was definitely like key. So I'm glad you could deliver that. It was, ooh. It's supposed to just be exhaling. That's just breathing, Ryan. That's just breathing. Right, goals. Anything get done?
Not for me.
Right, so nothing for Zora, nothing for Lyco, nothing for Weird, nothing for Zig. General goals, nope, and nope,
We're on the way.
and nope,
Back.
and nope, and nope. Okay, that's fine. Yep. Right, Lyco, you need a goal. Time to get a goal in mind for Lyco if Colin can't think of one.
I can.
Well, what about the find out about self electroencephalon? The electroencephalon. Find out about your it's fine. What? No, find out about makes it sound like discover it, whereas I have discovered it. How about uncover how his electroencephalon came to be?
That's quite good.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll
because I think that's quite a poignant thing to play on is the fact that you were told you have one. So, yeah. And
if I didn't spell it correctly, I don't
It's fine.
care. I'm tired.
yeah, that's fine.
Sorry.
It's okay. I think it's pretty good anyway from what I can see, but yeah, that looks fine. Okay, goals have been done. That was fairly painless, actually. Unless you wanted to complete goals, but this was a weird drift episode, and it mostly just got us. I want to say back into the game. Maybe it didn't. Like maybe it was just us being in the game, and the game was there too. I guess, which was sometimes needed. I think for the mental processing power we're all sitting on at this point in time. Yeah. So here we are. Look at us. We're back. Every day missed us. But anyway, wrap up chat time. Let's start us off, Weird.
Yes. I like the bit that the captain went crazy. It's good to have the war flashback. So it's a real Full Metal Jacket vibes. What else? Getting to this about techno barrel. Love that.
Infinite
Okay.
Infinites was good.
Yes.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Bigger and smaller infinites. Yeah.
Maths shouldn't be allowed.
Which is the basis of my whole character. Whoever said that you can't make a fun character out of mathematics, well,
Was
role-playing.
right.
Hey, role-playing is just probability distributions, given some story beats. And I will show you the graphs to prove it. No. Lockdown has affected me this week.
A lockdown affecting effect.
Yes. What else? Yes, and I always love Zig's attempt to explain his thoughts to get any
Other
input in
humans
them.
or other non-humans, or anyone. Really.
Yeah. hmm
All good.
Yeah. That's just nice to be back, to be fair. Like, it was...
Yes.
it
I think
was-
that's the sort of not massively driven episode that we needed.
Mhm. Yeah, there was no, like, massive plot dumps or anything. Like, there was no lore exposition dumps. Yeah. It was mostly just, why do we do this again? Yeah, okay. Let's re-rig the ship a bit. Well, in
And
drift.
obviously, a brief interlude about why D20 systems just universally seem to have adopted bad practices.
hmm
Good.
Yeah, and then the random bit about the Star Wars D6 system that we had, where we talked about character gen. This is always on point, this game. Yep, always on point.
We are relevant. We are the fragments of eternity.
Yes.
We are a small infinity. Here, never ending. And never getting anywhere.
Yep, every session title will just be renamed Session Infinity. Fair, to be fair. Anything else, buddy? Yeah, good, perfect. So we go next for me, Lyko.
But why do we allow maths?
To be fair, we've stopped using a lot of it in this game.
Listen, we've got words. That's enough, people. Make do with language and grammar and sound. Okay? And if you don't want that, fine. We can go back to grunting at each other, throwing shit. Anyway, hello. Yeah, that was nice. We got to have a little bit of a catch up with Alice. We got to do some, fucking around in Drift and had to star targeted thing at the captain. Interesting. So there's a little plot hook there. You know why? Because unless I completely missed something, and it's possible because, as I say, I'm fucking gone. No one else had a will save to take, right?
Zig.
Zig
Zig
did,
did.
right? Zig
Yeah.
did take one, right? Okay, but I didn't.
Nope, and neither did Alice.
Near to Dallas, yeah.
Yep.
So Zig, okay, took one, was fine. No surprise, the Mystic would be good.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there you go. So yeah, like it did seem sort of targeted, and that's interesting in itself. And also, we just had that conversation about how those two are specifically types of mystical character in a way that maybe some of the others aren't.
Mhm.
So again,
Yeah, like kind of stellarly attuned people, almost.
Yeah.
Mhm.
so there's an interesting little plot hook there about what the fuck is actually happening. We do have stakes in terms of we were kind of just fucking around, but we are pretty concerned about CC,
Mm.
right? You have one of our team in potential danger. I mean, we have to assume that's what's happened to him because unless he's just been hiding an event all this time. I mean, that could still be true as far as we know, but I think the
Mhm.
censored one. So yeah, like not just a little break episode, not just downtime. Oh no, excuse me, sorry. There was a little bit of downtime, a little bit of just sort of getting back into it. Start. It was nice to have sort of everyone out there doing some stuff and kind of shaking some of the cobwebs off after a slightly prolonged break. This.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm excited for Rival Act.
Yeah, me too,
think,
to be fair.
I think we're sort of 80. What session are we on again?
This was 86 we just did.
86. Fuck.
Yeah,
86 sessions.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're pretty long in the tooth now, and
Mm.
obviously things are starting to escalate a bit in some exciting times.
Mhm.
We got some weird sort of taking the helm
Mhm.
this time a bit, partly through obviously sort of specializing more the tech stuff, piloting, all that. And generally speaking, if you put him in front of a machine, he's going to make it work fine. So it made sense. But also then there was the fact that the captain happened to be the one that did get affected.
Mhm.
So thematically, I thought that was quite interesting. Like, quite often it sort of falls to obviously Alice, but also quite often it falls to Lyko to sort of be the guy that delegates if the captain's not there or or otherwise whatever. So it's nice seeing a position where it kind of needs sense for it to fall to someone else to be sort of organizing.
Good practice for
force.
Star Wars as well, eh, Alex? You know? Captain the
I'll be
Dunway.
sharing my captain sheets shortly as well.
Excellent. I look forward to it.
Cuckoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are my thoughts today.
Mhm.
Thank you for running. I will
Indeed.
say in advance.
Indeed, no, thank you for playing. No, it was good. It was good to be back. To be honest, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I quite like any opportunity for like I always like it when Alice and Lyko have a wee chat to
do I.
themselves. They do have some nice random chats about various subjects. But it was nice because I quite liked the fact that she almost felt like she could relate to you in this session, which was nice.
Yeah, it's yeah. She's a very nice NPC. Easy NPC to get on with. Like as awkward as she was when she was just
Mhm.
a standard AI. Well, not a standard AI, but she was very much an AI.
Yeah.
And she didn't really have a frame of reference outside of her situation or coding and
Mhm.
her experience in terms of like, one singular fucking station. But obviously she's actually become quite a pleasant character to deal with. She might be a bit odd, but definitely has insights and empathizes. Yeah, she is by the standards of Ryan characters a fucking delight to deal with.
Yeah.
I think some of my finest work has went into Alice, quite frankly. In terms
She's
of
easy to deal with, Ryan character.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
She's definitely a Ryan character, but she's easy to deal with.
To be fair, she keep in mind she is the equivalent of like a 1 or 2-year-old, right? Right. So I think she's doing okay. Yeah. She's also a lot of fun to RP. Like she's easy to RP at this stage now as well because she's kind of got her niche in the group, whereas that's where she struggled initially because she was like, well, who are these people? And none of these people are the scientists I used to work for and was built by. So where's that station I used to be in charge of? Now she's technically in charge of this station, if we see the crew as her new station, you know? So it's good. It's good for her, at least. And as I said, it was a nice opportunity to share things like the fact that she's still got like personal detail files like rattling around her brain.
Yeah.
Like that's must be weird given what she's went through, right? So it was fun to share that. 'Cause that was something I wasn't sure when would come up. Because I'm like, that's gonna be a personal thing for her. Like it's not something she's gonna share off the cuff. It needs to be something that she feels there's an entry point in that conversation, and obviously Lyko gave her one. With the I feel like I'm carrying a dead person inside reference, and she was like, "Oh, me too." So I enjoyed that. Anything else, buddy? Maybe not. Just type it.
Sorry,
It's okay.
I was. No, yeah, that was. That was pretty much it, I think.
No, excellent. Zora.
Hi, it was fun. It was fun going a wee bit batshit crazy.
Yeah, right.
I'm happy I was stopped from shooting weird. Although I probably would have done less damage, but I'm actually, I don't know, I probably done it.
I think it was because it sort of brought you back.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was quite good going with the batshit crazy.
Yeah, no, it was. It was good. I like that you just kind of rolled with it. Yeah, that was quite important to like maybe remind people that Zora has had a very different life from everybody else here. Granted, what you have done during the course of the game is questionable for everybody, but like, yeah, Zora has just had a life of quite a lot of fighting, to be honest, lots of conflict, and none of it anything you wouldn't describe as thriving in either, right? Since that's what the Vesk do, they thrive in conflict in this system. So, it was good. It was good. Nice to kind of name drop the swarm a bit more as well. Like, I have so little plans for that because that's a whole campaign of an arc.
Yeah, you can't touch the swarm with it going all in a swarm, really.
And like, I don't mind the swarm being a problem for the Viscarium at the moment, and that's kind of what's keeping them away from the pack worlds. Like, I'm kind of happy with that.
Swarm's like another Urgalass, really. Like,
yeah, it's a whole arc. It is. I don't have that in me, quite frankly. Another infinite session? No, thank you. But that was good. It was good to see that side of Zora. It's just nice to warm back up, let's face it, as well. Knowing you've got a crew you can rely on as well. Look at that. Look at your crew being reliable.
Sure. I mean, I can basically do nothing that is reliable, so it's fine. Roll20 hates me.
I think it's because you end up volunteering for things way out of your lane. I think that's why a lot of this comes up.
I mean, I was the other person there, right? It was like, well, I mean, let's try it.
Yeah, Finn's not going to hold a spanner, right? So yeah.
Blame Patty's over on the leadership.
I know, that's ridiculous.
That's what I blame Owen. You just gave me a good leadership role, and then you told me bit by bit. Like, just shy explaining shit weird.
Yeah, blame the teacher. Yeah.
That's right, my mathematics explanations today were totally on point and understandable.
I mean, Alice understood it perfectly, to be honest. So yeah, it's definitely the captain's fault, Admiral.
I think any explanation that presumes that the space cop will understand imaginary numbers is probably flawed.
Fair. To be fair, yeah. Anything else, buddy?
No, that's it. Just fun. It was good fun. It was hilarious being a silly bully.
Yeah, who knew we can sometimes do Benny Hill moments in this game, right? Flashes back to chasing that cube around the,
the engineer.
Just with the cargo crate trying to scoop it up. Yep. We're a super serious role-playing team. And / therapy session. Sig.
Speaking of, this is a silly question. Iva's still on the ship, right?
Somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Huh?
He didn't get swept away as well.
I know, Ivan's still on board.
He's not been brought up in a while, so it was like, wait a minute.
He was busy, It's also
probably up like last session, but it's just been that long.
Describing the occasional wobble didn't feel too crucial this week, to be fair. Yeah, it mostly seemed like Cece had the rapport with him more than anyone else.
But those wobbles are like morale inducing. Like,
yeah, he is definitely the morale officer. Oh, sorry, Zig. Please continue. Or start.
No, it was just really nice to be back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice to talk to you.
Yeah, right. We're missed too, buddy. So is everybody else. And all of our wonderful viewers.
We miss you. Yeah, I mean, as you could probably guess, I got the latter half of that. I got very, very, very brain dead. But I kind of liked that almost. I mean, I just loved the whole flashbacks. I don't know, that sort of just intense. I love it. Whole sort of except I'm pretty stressed about it. Whatever.
That was more just like the game's back on, boy, was cocks the gun, The
moment I've been waiting.
Live the game, or whatever slogan he is. Yeah.
I actually, you know what? I just liked that I did a thing that awful. That's something.
I would like to roll up off 10.
Yeah. Denied.
Denied.
Yeah.
Not allowed to roll. Not allowed to roll above that number. That's,
You're not
that's
holding
the
on to like a nat 20 I promised you at some point, are you? Because I know that was seemed to be the problem in my Wednesday game, where one of the players was like, he rolled like a nat 20, he was holding on to it for a bit, and then he couldn't roll above a 10 for like weeks.
I rolled like a pretty. I'd maybe.
Because he asked if he could like do like a roll to check out like the layout of an estate, so if he ever wanted to break in, he could get some detail about it. So I let him roll.
Wouldn't you know?
He got a nat 20 on his retroactive history check, so I let him hold on to that nat 20 for the time he wanted to say it. And then since then he just rolled terribly on roll 20. I'd actually told him this account is dead now, you should just make a new roll 20 account.
New account.
Yeah, this one's broken, yeah. And as soon as he used it, his numbers came back up. So there you go. So maybe you've been holding on to it. Anything else, Dig, before we move on?
Probably loads of things.
That's okay.
It's just lovely to.
Isn't it just? Yeah.
I'm also really interested to.
Oh, me too. Whenever that gets written. Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. Don't know why I keep doing that to myself. Why do I keep adding more content? Like, yeah, because obviously people will have. You won't be the only people that have noticed stuff going weird in Drift, right? Like, as I said, there's loads of tales of people being like, there's strange stuff out there, you know. And probably some madman with a ship with a giant harpoon on the front of it, gonna go get the whale. You know, Moby Drift, I think that guy's called. So
right there.
Tokyo Drift.
That was. I'm sure we've had Tokyo Drift as a joke before, because I'm sure we had. We've had Drift before as a title somewhere. I think it was just Adrift. Yeah, that was it. So, aye, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I thank you all for playing. It was lovely to be back, and also to just be and have the wherewithal to actually be able to run a game. That was nice. After my week off of just trying to recharge everything. So we should hopefully be as regular as our schedules allow. Besides that, goodbye everybody. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Everybody,
Goodbye.